Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well, this is awkward.
Yeah, it is awkward.
Nick, did you notice the awkwardness?
Yeah, as soon as he sat down, I figured it out.
It was an accident. If any of management is listening, we'll just leave it at that.
You can blame me. It's okay.
I will change into my sweatpants at the break. The show snuck up on me this morning. There's a rule for me not to be wearing shorts. Maybe everybody, but especially me, because no one wants to see
OMLs, old man legs?
My bird legs and old man legs and all those. No one wants to see that. I don't want to see that.
You know what I want to see?
What do you want to see? I want to see the A&M win tonight.
I mean, the final countdown is here, right?
Yes.
Like, this is... It's not like... It's a must-win.
It is. It's a must-win.
Like, you have to win. Because I don't know if beating LSU is enough to get into the tournament. I don't even know if beating Kentucky only is enough, but I think it's enough. I'm pretty sure it's enough.
Kentucky carries a lot more cachet, right? I mean, it's still Kentucky. I know it's not a vintage Kentucky team, but a win over Kentucky still has some meaning. I think 10-8 in the SEC should get you in, which means, in my mind, you should be able to lose Kentucky and still beat LSU and get in. However, I don't know that anybody in the committee will agree with that. And committees, I know it's different people on committees, but committees, as we've often discussed, rarely do A&M any favors.
Have you ever been a part of a committee? I don't think I've been a part of a committee. I've never gone to a committee meeting.
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I just can't.
PTA or something? What?
No, not a PTA.
What committee could Olin Buchanan have been a part of?
Well, I've been
Garden Club?
I was the president once of the Texas Sports Writers Association.
Okay. That's a pretty good little deal.
I did a terrible job at it, but I was. I don't know if that's a committee, but that's a organization.
Right. Look, let's just make it easy for the committee that we've never been a part of. Well, you have. Win two games. 3. Win a couple games in the tournament. Yeah, estamos bien.
Yeah, but it all starts with tonight. You know what? I was telling Justin over there earlier today, he says, A&M basketball, men and women, are being reminded of the fact that every long-distance runner knows. And that is, the start is not nearly as important as the finish.
Yeah. Consistency works pretty well in long distance as well. If you can consistently be good, the peaks and the valleys that hurts you.
But you got to have a kick at the end.
You do have to have.
You don't want to fade.
Yeah.
The women are showing a kick. The men have looked like they're going to fade. But maybe that last burst is going to kick in tonight.
So let's fast forward a week from now. How different we could feel if they get two straight.
Yes, we're going to be feeling confident.
We're kicking at the end.
We're going to know. I'm going to go out. Give me win over Kentucky tonight and a win over LSU on Saturday. And I'm telling you, you're in.
You're in.
They're not going to deny a 11-7 SEC team.
And I don't think they'll deny a 10-8 SEC team with a win over Kentucky. I don't think they will, but I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
I'm going to answer that.
Should, and this is, different people's going to have a different opinion on this. Should a committee look at losses that were close losses to good teams. Should that be factored in? For instance, what I'm trying to say is
blowouts versus close games.
Well, I'm saying when you're looking at if you're on the committee, you're trying to figure out who should be in. Would you look at, oh man, these guys lost a 1-possession game in double overtime on the road to Alabama. Oh look, these guys lost a 1-point game on the road in double overtime at Tennessee. Oh look, these guys, Missouri's going to be in it. They lost that by 1 point.
Only if you look at the wins the same way.
Okay.
You barely beat Auburn. You barely beat this team and that team. I think it's
Auburn beat Kentucky, by the way.
This is true. I think it's a win or a loss.
Okay, right. So you're saying no. There's no quote quality losses. When I was working,
but I think I don't think there's a hard fast rule. I think I got to look at each situation may be different. I may look at that Alabama game and say like, all right, they showed me something here.
So if what it probably means is if you're trying to figure out who's going to get in between the 65 team going to Dayton and the 64 team, and there's two, and you're looking at them and saying, well, you know what, this team played Alabama and Tennessee and Missouri really close, whereas opposed to maybe this team didn't have that. Maybe that's a deciding factor.
Yeah, you know what, I don't have a rule. I've never been a part of the committee, so I've never been put in this situation. But to me, it's either you win or you lose. I use this example sometimes, OB. I don't remember what year it was. There was a year I think the Clippers won like 11 games in the NBA. Okay, whatever it was. Okay, and a lot of these games they lost by 2 or 3 points. Right. A lot. They still sucked. If you don't win games, you lost. That's it. You lost.
Okay.
So A&M beat Notre Dame by 1. Mm-hmm. They won.
It was a great win.
Yeah.
Okay. But no one was trying to figure out if A&M should have been in a.
No. I mean, I would have to see what the. Yes. Could it be if you have 7 bubble teams and you put their resumes up and you're like, this team didn't beat one quad 1 team. This team beat them and they lost. They don't have one quality loss on their record. So I think I'd have to compare teams to be able to do it.
We're saying by and large, playing a really successful team close really shouldn't be a boost for you. And I don't disagree with that.
How about this? Whatever helps A&M. That's kind of how I am. Like, if I was on a committee that I had to take for reals and like, then no. But like as a fan, whatever's going to stack it in our favor.
Yeah. But nothing ever gets stacked in our favor, whether it be football, baseball.
It does not. I understand that you wrote a little article yesterday and identified some areas that A&M needs to be better at.
Well, I mean, they were talking about it, and some of them are very obvious. The 3-point shooting is very obvious, right? It's a team that typically needs to make double digits in 3-pointers, like 10 or more, to be successful. And they had 5, and basically 2 were meaningless in that loss to Texas. But as Bucky McMillan pointed out, he said, that's not why we lost. He said, we lost because I think he said they made I don't have the numbers in my head right now, but 11 of 23 at the rim.
Yeah.
Missed 2 dunks.
11-23.
Missed 2, less than 50% at the rim. Missed 2 dunks. And, they're missing layups. We talked about that. They miss a lot of layups, and that's a problem. So if you're not making your threes, you better, by gosh, make the close baskets.
Yeah. If you're not making threes and you're not making shots at the rim, you're not winning games.
You better get to the free throw line.
Right? And you better outwork your opponent on every possession.
Right. So, but you're right. You can outwork your opponent on defense. You can do all these things. And what I always say, the simplified version of it all is who puts the ball through the basket the most. And if you're missing your layups and your threes, you're not doing that.
Well, there's a couple guys that have been playing at a high level.
Yes, sir.
Agee's been playing at a very high level all season long.
He should be an all-SEC player.
Marcus Hill's played at a very high level.
Marcus Hill has really come on, and he's been that guy that you can count on to score 10 to 15 points.
Yeah, and for me, it's the scoring. I think he had a 20-point game recently too. It's not just that; it's the tenacity, the intensity that he plays at.
Yeah. I mean, he's their second best player now.
Yep.
And
how many times have we said that this year, though?
About somebody else?
Yeah. That could be a good thing if you're winning. Might be a bad thing if you're losing. Not that we have different people who can step up, but there hasn't been consistency from your second and your third player in the
Exactly. Dominguez hasn't been a factor in
8-9 games.
Yeah, and then Griffin is inconsistent. He's been underproducing of late. And then you got Clements, who hits 29 against Arkansas, and to your consistency point, and 3 against Texas.
Chikari's has some issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you got to have
2 guys that you feel like you can count on, though, are Agee and Hill.
So what you said earlier about the kick at the end of the season, same way at the end of a game, right? Like it's a microcosm. The end of the games is a microcosm for the end of the season. A&M made it a close game with Texas with 4:38 left, and that's when Texas closed out. A&M is in that part of the season right now. They've got to close out. They're right now. They're trailing whoever they're playing. They're behind the 8 ball. They've got to seize control right now.
And if they go out and have a game like they did against Missouri, and is whatever they're shooting lights out, you got to get it done on the defensive end, so you don't have just a 5-point lead at the half.
Remember, there was a point in the season where, and I know to your point yesterday, you don't believe that in the tired legs thing, but there was a point in the season where it looked like their opponents had tired legs at the end of games. That hasn't been the case recently.
Well, yeah. See, you're right, but I can understand why you get tired in the game.
Right.
What I don't get is when you say, well, I can be really tired, and then I go to bed and
get a good night's
sleep, and I wake up and I'm feeling pretty good.
Like last night?
Yeah.
How many hours?
7 hours.
That's
man.
pretty good. Does it make a difference? Did you sleep through?
Look at me.
Did you bathroom break it?
No.
Just the whole night?
It's amazing.
I would love to see your REM numbers.
Okay. Well, you know what? They were better at the rim than A&M was at the rim.
Well played, sir. Sorry, your deep
had to
sleep.
think about
I'd like to hear about your deep sleep.
Well,
and they're shooting deep.
In a sleep. but maybe everybody's going to wake up tonight.
Yeah. So, let's hope everybody got 7 to 9 hours of sleep on that roster.
And make 7 or 9 shots.
Each.
That'd
be a game-breaking situation or history-making. Anyway, this is TexAgs Live. We are presented by
David Gardner Jewelers.
In the what?
Rollo Insurance Studio.
This hour is the what?
The Go Hour.
Presented
by The Warehouse at CC Creations.
And we are currently hanging out where?
In the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, what can you do?
You can call us or text us on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline.
Or you can text us on what?
The Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. Are you down with PPE?
I'm down with PPE. Should we go through the television glass and say hi to Nick Savage?
We should.
I think we will do it in 3, 2, 1. Nick, hello.
Hey guys, good morning. Hey, can I make y'all mad real quick?
Oh,
I kind of want to make y'all mad. Well, even angrier. Not because of me. This is because of somebody else.
Okay.
And I'm going to switch sports on y'all. So, Dave Campbell, TexasFootball.com, they put out their top 10 college quarterbacks in Texas list, and I'm just going to read them out to y'all. I don't know if you can see this graphic or not.
Okay.
I'll start at the top. Number 1, Arch Manning.
Okay.
Number 2, Kevin Jennings, SMU.
Okay.
Number 3, Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech.
Okay.
Number 4, Connor Wigman, Houston.
Okay.
Number 5, Brad Jackson, Texas State.
Okay.
Number 6, Marcel Reed, Texas A&M. Okay. Number 7, DJ Lagway, Baylor. Owen McCowan at UTSA. Jaden Craig at TCU. And Taven Jackson at 10. He's at North Texas. So Marcel Reed at 6, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in the top 10 college quarterbacks in the state of Texas.
I knew Dave Campbell, and he'd be upset with that list. The legend that Dave Campbell was. That
Dave
was
passed
stupid.
away years ago.
Yeah.
And now they got a different staff, and I just don't know if they're as reliable.
That's a
as they used
stupid
to be.
list. I mean,
first of all, why is Connor Wigman at Houston?
by the way, who replaced Connor Wigman as the starter?
That's what I'm saying. Why is Connor Wigman at Houston?
Who was listed as a Heisman contender 90% of the season? It's just a stupid list. It's somebody who got some names, put it on, Marcel, I didn't like the way he played against Miami. Okay, they're a really good team, but okay.
I didn't like the way he played against Miami.
I didn't either.
Even though he was the running game. And Miami, that defense made a lot of quarterbacks struggle.
Did Kevin Jennings make the playoffs?
No. And when he did, I'll say this. If you're good, Dave Campbell, Dave.
Love Dave.
Yeah, he was a
good
fine gentleman. If you were gonna, if Marcel Reed's performance in the playoff against Miami is what you're holding against him in these rankings, then I would say let's go back and look how Kevin Jennings played in his playoff appearance against Penn State, because that might have been the single worst performance I've ever seen from a quarterback in of a successful team. Hey, Justin, when you get a chance, would you go back and look at that box score, that Houston Penn State, and we'll just run by. I mean, I don't need to be crapping on Kevin Jennings here, but let's just be.
The one thing Kevin Jennings has on Marcel is he did play well against Miami. I just looked it up. He played excellent against Miami.
I got it for you, OB.
You just missed what I'm saying, though. If you're going to hold the playoff showing against
Marcel,
then let's see what Kevin Jennings did in the play, and it's in his playoff game against Penn State the year prior.
Yeah, I got it for you, OB. He was 20 for 36 for 195 yards. He threw a touchdown and 3 interceptions. He rushed 8 times for negative 25 yards.
How many interceptions?
3.
I wonder if there might have been a pick 6 in there. So anyway,
look, everybody's got opinions. Whatever. Like I don't agree. I'm an A&M guy. I'm going to have Marcel's back. I think the stats would tell you. The stats are very similar, by the way, and I think Marcel had a significantly harder schedule than what SMU had. But whatever. Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, just go out.
There were 2 pick 6s.
2 pick 6s.
That's never good, OB.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not
like,
1 but 2.
Yeah, I'm suddenly having thoughts of Kyle Allen against Alabama.
No, whatever. I mean, make your little list.
Ricky Seals Jones was wide open at the 10. He wide open, and he's 6'4", and Kyle, you threw the ball 5 feet over his head.
By the way,
to Minkah Fitzpatrick.
I'm not saying that Marcel should be. I don't even know if he shouldn't be 6. I'm just saying, based on what I see right there, I don't see a reason for Kevin Jennings or Connor Wegman to be ahead of him. But
who's Brad Jackson?
Yeah, who is Brad Jackson?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Who? I don't know Brad Jackson.
Come on, Brad Jackson? Guy's a quarterback.
Where's he the quarterback?
School in Texas.
Which one?
One of those ones like close
State.
Yeah.
Texas State?
Yeah.
Bradley.
He's at 5.
See, you know, I got an idea that Dave's kind of rolling over Dave is rolling in the grave right now. Dave in the grave.
He might be really good, by the way. I don't know. Like, I hate to speak on somebody I've never seen play.
And never going to.
Yeah. Brad Jackson.
I'm sure he had a fine year for Texas State.
Let's take a look at his numbers, shall we?
He's a red shirt.
What number was he on the list?
5.
5.
He threw for 3,224 yards.
About the same as
Marcel. 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Let me look at his schedule. Do you want to see who he played?
Where did he come from?
Yeah, he's from Texas State, I'm pretty sure.
So he's been in Texas State his whole career.
USA, ULM, USM, UL, Marshall, Troy, Arkansas State, Nicholls State, Arizona State, UTSA, EMU. Okay, whatever. Like, I'm sure he's a really good quarterback. And who knows, with the transfer portal, he may end up somewhere we know at some point.
Maybe
I just think, and Billy actually talked about this on the show yesterday, people are holding Marcel to a different standard that they don't hold other people to.
I agree with that.
Because the last 2 games were not good. We know.
We're acknowledging it.
The A&M did not win the last 2 games, not just because Marcel didn't play well, but that was a part of it. And why did Marcel not play well? Well, better defenses. I think the line struggled a bit. The running game wasn't there. There were some drops. There were several reasons that A&M. It wasn't just because Marcel struggled in a windy game against Miami.
I think Marcel, in my mind, and I'm sure people tell me I'm wrong, but here's what it appeared to me, and it started against Texas. I think Marcel was looking for big plays instead of taking opportunities to run or taking some checkdowns. That's just the way it looked to me.
Let's go to.
And I'll go back to that one. It had to be a audible. Remember in the third quarter when Texas scored and A&M was looking at like a 3rd and 2 against Texas, like the 33, and they throw the deep fade, and I'm like,
what are we doing?
I can't imagine that was called, but I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of to my point.
Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Hey, Justin Byers, how are you, sir?
Doing great. How about y'all?
I'm all worked up now.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that list is pretty stupid. Sorry.
Questionable, yeah.
Yeah, I
Sorry, I
mean,
don't know
whatever. It's a list. People
But
make them.
What isn't stupid is women's basketball. They are on fire right now, and they go
They're
into
stupendous.
It's been awesome to cover this team because the last 5 games, obviously, they've been lights out. They've been actually hitting their threes, have made 8 or more, and on the last 5 games, Nyceria Pryor had double-doubles through 4 of them. Fats Janae had double-doubles in all 5 of them.
Old fat mama.
They've jumped from, I believe, 15th seed in the SEC now up to 10, and they get Auburn on Wednesday.
So what are their chances of making the tournament?
I would say they would need to obviously beat Auburn on Wednesday. They would play Ole Miss in the next round, and they would definitely need to get a win there. And I think they should be in.
If they get 2 more wins, you think they're in?
I think they'll make it with that.
Did I read somewhere that the women have at least tied for the most quadrant one victories? Did I read that somewhere?
They're tied for the most quad 1 and quad 2 victories of all bubble teams.
Of all bubble teams, okay.
Right now, so.
All right, one more report before we got to hit a break.
I was just going to also mention that we got baseball today. They play the Incarnate Word Cardinals at 4 p.m. This fun fact, I don't think we knew this. David Robinson.
Wait, the Admiral?
Yeah, and in San Antonio Spurs legend actually has a degree from Incarnate Word.
I got a question about Incarnate Word. What's their mascot?
The Cardinals.
Is it a bird or is it the priest? You know, the high-ranking priest.
The high-ranking priest. I don't know. Actually,
maybe it's a high-ranking.
Their logo is a bird.
Huh.
But behind the mascot is a priest.
Because it's Incarnate Word. It's Catholic University.
Yeah.
And your word is your bond, even though it's spelled differently.
For sure.
Okay.
I would like to go to 1775 with a priest dressed as a cardinal.
Where he would administer last bites.
Last bite. There you go. God, we're so stupid.
I know it.
No, it's more stupid to us or that list.
Oh, the list.
The list, for sure.
It's close to the list.
So if we could go with the cardinal priest guy and Dave Campbell, and we just had a good
bless the food.
And bless the food.
And that food is blessed.
And we'd be like, hey, you get to pick what you want to eat. What do you think the Cardinal and Dave Campbell would be picking? By the way, I did know Dave. He was awesome.
He was.
I worked
a fine
in
gentleman.
Waco.
Yeah.
Amazing guy.
The Cardinal would say,
maybe we should just talk about the food.
He would look at, you know what he would do? He would take a bite of that succulent brisket, and you know what he would say? He'd say, holy cow! This is divine. So, and then he'd have some of that jalapeno cheese sausage and some of the amazing pork ribs, and he'll say, "Oh, I'm blessed to have this." And then he'll have the queso mac and cheese. And he'll take a bite and go, "God,
okay,
thank you. God bless this food. Thank you so much."
I don't know how to get out of this. I might just let you keep going.
Well, I'm just going out on a wing and a prayer.
I'm just going to give the website. 1775txbbq.com, 979-492-6241.
Holy cow, it's good.
Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites, while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. We're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Couple comments to get to before we do our performance of the week. JW on TexAgs.com says, OB's a legend. That trip to 1775 with the Cardinal and Dave sounds like a great time. I would like to do that.
Yeah, that would.
And then there's another one. Let's see if I can get to it. It's, let's see, here we go. It's not opening. No. Anyway, we'll get to it here in a second. I thought I could find it, but yep, I got it. All right, sorry. Premium chat. Here it is. Calvin. Marcel was a huge, in big letters, reason the Ags lost the 2 games, along with questionable play calling. Keep trying to make him a pocket passer. When the skills are more rollout, he can see the field and also run the ball. After he went down versus the Horns, he was reluctant to run. I would say that the Texas game, they couldn't stop the big plays, they couldn't stop the run, and Marcel didn't have a very good game. I would say against Miami, 2 really good defenses, and didn't take advantage of their opportunities when they had them, and Miami did. And Miami got the big play, A&M did not get the big play.
And we've acknowledged that he did not play well in those 2 games.
Yeah.
But you're going to look at the entire season, right? You know, why does everybody forget his performance against Notre Dame?
Because people want to take away the Notre Dame win from you because they didn't make the playoffs. Just like they want to take away the LSU win from you, a place that you had never won. Not never, but
it's been a while.
A minute.
It's been 30 years.
Oh, way too long. But they won. Now it's time for the Knockout Performer of the Week, brought to you by TKO Equipment. Rent, sell, lease, or rent to buy TKO Equipment, which is your trusted source for used heavy equipment. Obi-Wan, who do you got on your list?
Fat Mama Jenna.
15 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 3-pointers.
And they beat Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
So it was like, old fat mama, keep on rolling on that Mississippi moon. Keep on shining on them.
Justin, I think...
You know that song?
Just when you sing it here in the breaks.
Is that the Doobie Brothers?
Yeah, the Doobie
Blackwater?
Brothers. Yeah, Blackwater.
Yeah.
Did you know that, or you had to
I've been to a Doobie Brothers concert, actually.
Have you?
Them and Journey.
Over at the...
Cynthia Woods.
Cynthia Woods, yeah.
Yeah.
They're about to perform with Santana.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. You know Santana.
Of course. You call him the coolest guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
So we got to give Nye some props too, right, Justin? I mean, she should be on the Performance of the Week.
I mean, the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks, she's been doing it really all season. But the way she puts together, obviously, her offensive side of things, the way she can, like, pull up and hit a 3 at any point, or those, like, deep 2s, or even getting to the lane, she's doing really great stuff. And the way, obviously, she plays on defense. She sets the tone on defense and offense, because the way she gets steals, I know she only had 2 in this game against Ole Miss, but when she puts it together, it sets the tone for the whole team. I think, though, the biggest thing for the women's basketball team, because you've had Fats and Nye be the 2 kind of leaders each night, but once you get that third helper, which has been Celeste Blow, the last 2 games, she scored 6 of the last 8 points against, oh my gosh, now I'm blanking on the team, Mississippi State, and then against Ole Miss, she had 11. So she stepped up, been that third person for the basketball team, and I think that's really set the change.
Well, yeah. What are we talking about the men needing? Somebody to step up as that third guy, because, again, Hill and Agee, you pretty much can feel confident that you're going to get production from them. Somebody else has to step up. Who is that going to be?
Got a couple more for you. How about Jake Dewar? Guy's got a 7-game hit streak, 2 for 4 against Virginia Tech. He 1 for 2 against UCLA with that home run, and he recorded a hit to get his streak the 7 games. So I put him on the list.
Yeah, he's not just a watcher. He's a doer.
How about Shane Sadeo?
Man, all those worries about his health have been has put to rest, haven't they?
6 innings pitched, 4 hits. Had 5 strikeouts in the win against Virginia Tech. I got to put Rashawn Agee on the list, man. I mean, he just produces.
Was he 20-8?
22-8, I believe.
22-8.
Yeah. So you just keep putting him on the list every week.
He's an all-SEC guy. If he's not, it's highway robbery.
Yeah. We'll hit a break. We'll talk to our friend Charean Williams. It was great to see her.
It is
4 straight days last week. That was fun.
I love talking football with Charean.
Yeah, we'll talk to Charean the Dream next on the other side. Right now, let's talk about the Rollo Insurance Group. You get a group that's going to build a lasting relationship with you through education, helping you understand what you're paying for, doing the shopping for you, so that you can understand what you have and how to apply it when that time comes. They have expertise in everything from home to auto to business to specialty coverage. Their independent agents provide a tailored option specific to your need. They are fantastic. I talked to Morgan on the phone yesterday. We're just shooting the breeze, right? They become your friend because they want to be invested in your life and what you have going on. Many clients discover better protection at competitive rates simply because they finally understand their options by talking to the good people at Rollo Insurance. Their headquarters is on Highway 6 right here in College Station. Visit the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That is rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations, hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. OB, as we mentioned at the end of the last hour, the best part of last week for me was we got to see Charean all the time. Charean Williams was every day we went to the podium. She was there, big smile on her face.
She always had news.
She did have some news. In fact, she was there when the Draw Johnson info kind of broke. So let's go to the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline, joined by our dear friend Charean the Dream Williams from Pro Football Talk, Aggie Hall of Famer. Charean, good morning.
Good morning. I want to know how y'all liked your first combine.
We liked hanging out with you.
Yeah, that's
There's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And as an old man like me, when you just stand there for hours, my feet and my back starts hurting. But I enjoyed it when we actually got to talk to the guys.
Yeah, I think that was the best part, Charean, getting to see the guys that we've covered the last 3-4 years and just having an opportunity. A guy like Trey Zoom, we saw him for 5 years, right?
So, I didn't see him.
Oh, that's right. You were already
I was gone.
But that was my favorite part of it.
Yeah. It's a good week. It's a good week to if you covered college athletics, to get to see the guys one last time before they go into the NFL. I guess you get to do that at the pro day as well. But yeah, it's a good week to get to know, and for those of us in the NFL to get to know the guys that we watched on TV and haven't gotten a chance to talk to. So there were some impressive guys up there. I tell you what, Eli Stowers, he had some sort of medical issue that we don't know. That I think he was 3 or 4 hours late getting into his session, but super impressive, to get to meet him after what Kendall's done and all of that as well.
Charean, what I think one of my favorite parts, it may have actually been after I left, but just the overwhelming show nationally of support for KC Concepcion, and, people like appreciating that despite his speech impediment, that he's this courageous guy that goes up and never shies away from interview. And yeah, he struggles with a stutter, but he always gives you a good answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question. And I hate these engagement sites that put them. I didn't see anyone. Let's start here.
I heard it was on like Snapchat or something like that.
I didn't see anyone mock Casey Concepcion. On X, anyway.
Right.
But I did see a site claiming that people were mocking him just to get engagement, which it did. It blew up, and people were responding to that. But thankfully, and I hope that, I'm sure there were some, but no one mocked him. I mean, it does not deserve to be mocked. But the outpouring of support was incredible.
Yes.
Former NFL players, current NFL players, people from every spectrum were supporting KC, and it was really cool to see. He came up to our set, he's going on with Florio and Chris Sims, and I grabbed him. I said, hey, introduced myself, and I said, now this guy up here, he played quarterback at Texas, so we both did the horns down. We had a lot of fun with it. He and Sims had a lot of fun with the Texas and A&M thing. So he's just a treat to be around, and I haven't been around him much. You guys know him much better than I do. But I really enjoyed the time that I spent with him and got to talk to him.
Charean, are you hearing anything about him and Cash just potentially in the first round?
Yeah, I think Casey really helped his case. I'm going to be surprised if he doesn't go in the first round. Just all the numbers he put up at the combine, I think were great, and I think that a lot of talk about him. I've heard from scouts, DMs, coaches. So I think he goes somewhere in that late first round. Probably 22, 23 on down. In that range, I think he'll go. If not, he'll go early in the second day. Cassius, I don't know. You just have this analytical evidence that no one with arms that short has succeeded in the NFL. Now, the athletic numbers he put up when he participated in the combine were fantastic. So you have to weigh that. Is this guy going to be a aberration, a once-in-a-lifetime guy who everything says he can't succeed in the NFL because of these short arms, but he's going to be the one guy to do it? Or are you going to trust the numbers? Or are you going to try to move him position. Like, what are you going to do with him? I think he probably fits the 3-4 better than he does the 4-3. But I think that's what they're weighing with him. He may be a second-round pick, though, because of the short arms. And it's just, we saw what he did in the Miami game, which was not a lot. And that's the type of left tackle that you're going to be facing in those types of tackles in the NFL on a weekly basis. So I think they got, some sense of him in that game. Now, I'll say Carson Beck got the ball off very quickly. I don't know that he had a ton of chances, but, he didn't do a whole lot in that game to suggest that going to the NFL, the short arms aren't going to be a problem. So he's a big question, whether he actually goes in the first round or I think more likely probably in the second round.
Okay, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. I would just wonder if, there's some of the guys that were picked with the short arms that didn't pan out. I do wonder how, and I don't know who they are, but I wonder how they would have compared to what he does in terms of some of the drills they did, right?
Right.
Because I know at the Combine they put so much into these drills, right, Charean? And they're trying to glean information and say, well, there's got to be a big plus side to him that he does things that guys with arms that are long enough don't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point. And athletically, he was there. He did everything and more that you want to see out of an edge rusher. I mean, he was fantastic.
Charean, Taco Charlton was a first-round pick. I wonder how long his arms were.
Who is this?
Taco Charlton was a first-round pick. I wonder how long his arms were.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, you have guys with long arms who don't make it. So that's what they have to weigh. And here's again, you can have 31 teams that say, I'm not drafting a guy with his arms that short in the first round. It only takes one. If you have one team say, we're not afraid of that, his athletic numbers are fantastic, what he did on the field was fantastic, he showed he can do it. I'll say this, when I covered the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they changed their draft philosophy right when I got there. We had Rich McKay as the GM, 94, 95. 94 was my first season. They changed their draft philosophy, and they stopped going after guys, especially in the early rounds, guys with potential. And they said, we're only taking guys with production. That 95 draft, they got Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp, Hall of Fame players, okay? You've seen the production that this guy has. Shamar Stewart, completely different story. Bengals were basing that first-round pick on potential. Not on production, not on what he did in college. Yes, he got to the quarterback some. He didn't have the sack numbers. This guy has the sack numbers to show you that he can get to the quarterback. Do you trust that? Only takes one team to trust that. And what he did athletically at the Combine, and he probably won't do much at the pro day, but whatever else he does at the pro day, he's got another opportunity. He'll also probably have some private workouts. But it only takes one team to see that and trust that to draft him in the first round.
Charean, we were there in Indy. I was hoping to interview Gerard Johnson while we were there. He didn't make the trip. It ended up he and the Texans had parted ways. What do you think about him ending up with the Eagles?
Yeah, I think it's a really good move for him. Long term, I think this will be good. Going to a different team, get an opportunity. It's probably a step back in his, we talked about him becoming a head coach, and I thought he had a real opportunity going forward to do that. And now this is a step back in that, because he's going to have to go be a coordinator probably somewhere first, and that may be another couple of years before he even gets an opportunity to be a coordinator. It's the Rooney Rule was put in place to give minorities an opportunity, and it's working on the defensive side of the ball. It's not working on the offensive side of the ball. The coordinator positions are not going to minority candidates. And thus, teams want the offensive coordinator as their head coach instead of the defensive coordinator. So it's not helping get those guys to the head coaching jobs. So, hopefully he gets a chance to be a coordinator here in the next couple of years. I think it's going to be at least a year or two before he gets an opportunity to do that. The way the Eagles change coordinators, it might be next year with the Eagles. Who knows? But I hope he gets that opportunity within the next couple of years.
Always rooting for him. I always thought he'd be a great college coach, but hey, he's got to follow his dreams and his heart. Charean, I want to ask you, on course 13 Aggies were at the Combine. We've talked about KC and we've talked about Cassius. So what Aggie was there that you think might have turned the most heads beyond those two?
That's a great question. I don't know that I've studied it all that much. I don't think Moss didn't do anything, right, if I'm correct?
Right.
Right. So, I think it's really big for him at the pro day, and I think it's going to be big for a lot of those guys at the pro day. Again, I don't know that Cassius and Casey will do much at the pro day. I don't know if they need to. I mean, they've kind of showed what they needed to show. Draft us or don't draft us. This is what we are. But I think some of those other guys, it'll be big for them at the pro day to kind of show what they can do. Will Lee, I know, put up some good numbers. Maybe he improved his draft stock a little bit. Didn't run real great, but maybe fast enough. So hopefully he helped himself. But, I want to see Moss at the pro day because I think that's going to be really, really big for him. And, running backs really are devalued in the NFL anyway, but I hope he helps his stock with what he can do at the pro day.
Charean, great stuff. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Charean Williams there on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with a short segment. If you're looking for a reason to move back to Aggie Land, or you already living in Aggie Land and looking for a new opportunity, a new job, maybe check out the Association of Former Students. They're always looking to add positions and help people relocate to this area, and they have fundraising departments, former student programs, sales, marketing, and communications as well. They're the nation's premier alumni association and the oldest organization supporting that Aggie network. They play a part in every Aggie story from Howdy to Here. Don't miss opportunities to help out with Howdy Socials, Aggie Reading Day, class reunions, Aggie Muster, and everything in between. Join a team that exemplifies those Aggie core values of excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, and selfless service, all in support of that worldwide Aggie network. If you're interested in joining the team or sharing with someone that would be a great fit, please visit tx.ag/associationjobs to apply and get more information on each position. It is the Association of Former Students.
All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors. Designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, Dad, you look pretty good today. From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family.
And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Wallow Insurance Studio. OB, you were telling me a story at the break that you got to meet a pilot.
Yeah. So Callie and I were at our gate in DFW. We just flown in from Indianapolis. We're right in our connection down to College Station. And this gentleman comes over and he says, "Hey, Olin." And I'm like, "What?" And he starts talking about TexAgs. Just the reach of TexAgs. And so shout out to American Airlines pilot Joe Ben, who's from Harlingen, Texas.
Was he flying here or was he flying the Harlingen?
I think he was flying here.
Oh, okay.
But he wasn't flying the plane.
Okay.
I think he was flying on the plane, but maybe I was wrong. But for all I know, maybe he was. But in our conversation, that's what I gathered. But he wanted to talk about TexAgs and the Aggies and things like that, like all Aggies do. And of course, we really love our TexAg family. And we appreciate it when they come say hi to us. So we're shouting out, Joe Ben, keep flying.
OB, I actually did not hate Indianapolis.
No,
I don't want to live there, but it was fine. It
was fine. I thought the downtown area was pretty robust. A lot of restaurants.
Not a lot of traffic.
I was shocked by the lack of. I like to leave for the airport early because I've lived in Nashville. I've lived in Austin. Even here, getting up and down Highway 6 close to rush hour can be a problem, right? I could not, but there's nobody. It's 4:35. There's nobody on the road.
There's nothing like flying to College Station, though. It's the best. I love it.
That was nice. That was nice to get in and land and not have to drive 2 hours to get home.
OB, keys for tonight, in your opinion, to beat Kentucky?
Take care of the ball, make your threes, finish some layups.
You do that, you win?
Yeah, I think so. I think when they hit 12 or more threes, there's a goal right there. They have a good track record.
Yeah. Hit 12 or more threes, force some turnovers.
Gonna have to play some defense.
Yeah, you're gonna have to play some D.
Kentucky can shoot threes too.
Yeah, and they're really good at holding teams. I think that they give up 32% from the three, which is not the best in the league, but they're good at it. Anyway, Obi, thank you, buddy.
Yep.
When we come back on TexAgs Live, we're going to talk a little Miami, Ohio. Have you seen the little stuff going on with Miami, Ohio? I have. Yeah, we'll chat about that. Bruce Pearl, he came after them a little bit. That and more is TexAgs Live. Welcome to March, where resumes go on trials. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio, hour number 2 of the show. So look, you come to TexAgs for Miami, Ohio updates, right? Of course, that's why you come here.
Of course.
Nick, do you know why they're in the news?
I do. I'm aware.
29-0. Okay. There's a question about should they be in the NCAA tournament as the only undefeated team in college basketball, right? Are they the only? I believe they are, right? So the lone undefeated team. And Bruce Pearl says, the former Auburn head coach says, nah, they should not be in based on their resume. The Miami athletic director thinks that's disrespectful, as you would expect. He kind of went after Bruce Pearl. I want to hear exactly what the quotes were because I haven't seen them. But I do know that he insinuated that maybe Bruce is that way because his son's team's on the bubble. So do you have the quotes, Justin Pius?
I do. I can start with Bruce Pearl, obviously. He's a TV personality now, and he was on what show over the weekend and said, here's the deal. Are we going to select the 68 most deserving teams, or are we going to select the 68 best teams? If we're selecting the 68 best teams, then Miami is going to have to win their tournament to qualify because at an at-large bid, they are not one of the best teams in the country, and that's going to be a difficult choice for the committee. He would continue in that regard, talking about how a team like Auburn should get in over a team like Miami.
Did he actually mention Auburn?
He does mention Auburn.
Yeah, I don't think he should have done that. I think he should have picked another team like
And
A&M.
I believe he used the word "we" when he was discussing Auburn. So I think that ticked off Miami of Ohio's AD David Saylor because he said at Coach Bruce Pearl, "You are flat out wrong about Miami basketball when you say we would finish last in the Big East. The disrespect is awful, and you should not be near a TV studio covering the sport when you show your true colors." Even slipped in a "we" when talking about Auburn. Nice work.
So look, I haven't investigated Miami, Ohio's. I mean, I wrote down some notes here to kind of talk about it. I don't. To me, it would be ridiculous that an undefeated team. Well, they wouldn't be undefeated if they don't win the conference tournament, right? So, but I got to imagine that in a tournament where you invite the whole world to play, basically, right, 68 teams, that you don't give a team that's 30-1 an opportunity to be in the. I mean, like that. What are we doing here, right? So I want to kind of investigate some of it. So there are 365 Division I teams. Mm-hmm. Miami, Ohio's the only one that has not lost. Okay, so. The only way it works from here is if they finish like 29-1 or 30-1, or they just go undefeated. So if they go undefeated and they win their conference tournament, they're in. Doesn't matter, right? But there are reasons for them not to be in there. The tournament is about what your resume, who you've beaten, who you've lost to. They haven't lost to anybody, right? So they don't have any real brand wins, but they have no brand losses either, or bad losses in there, right?
Period, yeah.
The committee likes to look at wins above bubble, and Miami of Ohio is 32nd with wins above bubble. Auburn is 42nd. So just a little note. Look, Miami plays this Miami, Ohio. Do they call it Miami? Or they call it Miami, Ohio. To me, they're not Miami, but I think they go by Miami.
I think Miami of Ohio.
Right, but I think they call themselves Miami.
Okay.
So apparently their head coach says that big teams refuse to schedule them. I don't know if that's true. That might be a little bit of politicking. It might be true, might not be. So that's the life, but that is sometimes the life of being a mid-major where you're kind of good. I don't know if they're showing up on people's screens like, oh, I don't know if I want to play this team, right? Like I don't buy that per se. But they have no quad one wins. Okay? But they have, as I mentioned, no bad losses, no nights off. So when you play 29 games and no nights have been taken off, I think that should go for something. An undefeated regular season team with 29 wins every time has gotten into the tournament, right? Every time.
Yes.
So I don't see how it doesn't, if you lose a conference tournament game, how you don't get in.
They should still be in that double-digit seed if they were to lose. I don't expect them to. Even though I will say...
They just played a close game, though.
They just won at a buzzer beater against Western Michigan.
Yeah.
And they've had some close calls throughout the season, but a win is a win at the end of the day. We were talking about that earlier.
So let's A&M it, though, okay? So, like, I'm making an argument for why they should, but if we're talking about bubble teams, and I'm not talking about Auburn, okay? I'm talking about A&M. you kind of hope that Miami, Ohio wins their conference tournament where it doesn't take another spot away, right?
For sure.
Because if A&M is a bubble team, and right now they are they outside looking in at the moment?
Technically they're right on the outside.
Okay.
Or they're in, but yeah.
So let's give them some reasons why they shouldn't be in, right? Because if we're thinking about A&M perspective, we want as many opportunities as possible. The zero quad 1 wins, the 0 quad 2 wins, right?
No,
actually they have 1 quad 2 win.
One quad 2 win, 9 quad 3 wins.
Right. So
outside the top 200 in strength of schedule, and I believe 86th in the Ken Palm. So those are some numbers that would fight against Miami of Ohio's resume for getting in. But obviously, if you win your tournament, your conference tournament, you're.
But I honestly, I remember 2 years ago when Indiana football was, what were they, 11-1 in the regular season? I think that was right. And they went.
Two seasons ago. Yeah.
Yep. And I remember telling OB, I think there was people they don't deserve to go to the playoffs. They haven't beaten anybody. And I'm like, dude, you can't tell me Big Ten is different than.
That's true.
Right? But you can't tell me that, it should matter, regardless of your, you should be rewarded for going 11-1. If there's an extended playoff, if there's a 12-team playoff, a 68-team playoff, for having that kind of record, I just think, what are we playing the season for? You have no chance, the only chance into a tournament where you invite a third of the teams, or not a third, a fourth of the teams that can get in, and you're only going to, you only win if you win the conference. I mean, if you're that historically good, but the MAC does not typically get at-large bids.
No, it's usually just the conference.
So, I mean, for them, kind of like A&M, as we try to A&M it.
We have to.
A&M-ize.
We want to.
We will. They can take care of their own business and just win their conference tournament and not be an argument. But I also think it'd be really sad if a team, I think they would get in. I don't know. How the hell do I know? I don't know what these people are thinking. But my opinion is they would get in. But, if they were to play an SEC, if Miami, Ohio were to play A&M would off the floor with them.
But
I'm telling you this based on 12 seconds of highlights that I've watched of this team. So the bottom line is, for A&M's sake, you want this team to win the conference tournament so it doesn't take another bubble team away from you. From an A&M's point of view, you better hope that if you play Auburn again, you don't equal the playing field, you beat them again, right? These are all teams you're competing with at this point. Texas, even though you beat them once, they're a leg up on you now, right? You may play them again. So you have to win that, and it goes back to tonight's game. It is so important for your resume when we are trying to put these teams in a box, and you got a Miami, Ohio that's 29-0, and you've got, or 29-1 potentially, and you've got A&M, you've got Auburn, you've got all these teams laid out. You've got to get a win tonight. Get to your 10th win. Hopefully you get to your 11th win. I do think if you get to 11, there's no doubt in my mind you're in. I think if you beat Kentucky tonight, at the very worst, you're playing in Dayton. The very worst. Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree. And Kentucky right now is in bracketology is listed as a 6 seed, so that would be a massive win in my opinion. I think tonight, obviously you want to win both games, but I think LSU's game is even more important just for the fact that if you drop the game to what are they dead last in the SEC?
Hold on. You think?
I think Saturday's game is more important. If I had to pick one for a win, I would pick Saturday's.
Oh, I disagree.
I think that
I disagree. I don't think beating LSU twice helps your resume. I think that 10th win does not hold more weight than a Kentucky 10th win.
I see.
Yeah. If I had to pick one win, I'd pick Kentucky over LSU. Nick, agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. But I think Justin's, I can kind of see it both ways. I would rather take the Kentucky win over LSU, but just the loss to LSU would, I feel like, do some significant damage to the resume overall.
But what would the win over Kentucky do for your resume?
Same thing. They would equal each other out.
No, it's a bigger deal. You've already beat LSU, right? I think a home victory over Kentucky is a bigger deal than losing on the road to LSU.
I just don't think LSU's a very good team.
I don't care. Kentucky is a good team, right? Again, you need. I think if the argument is 10, and I don't know if 10 gets you in. I think the only way 10 gets you in is if you beat Kentucky. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
I don't think you get in with 10 by beating LSU. You might get in if things, but you're making a much more difficult case for yourself if your best win is Georgia and Texas. Okay? And then one of those teams you already lost to. I do think if you have 10, Kentucky being that 10th win, one of your best wins on the season, changes your resume completely. That I think then 10 is weighted heavier for A&M than a 10 beating LSU twice. Don't get me wrong. Win them both and we're good, right? But like if you had to pick one, Bucky's trying to win them both, right? There's no doubt that they're trying to win. But if we're looking at resumes, I don't know how much a 10th win being LSU helps you as opposed to I understand the loss would hurt you. I get that. But I think you get more of a bump with that being your signature win than a signature loss like LSU.
What about internally, if they do lose that last game going into the SEC tournament, having a bad loss to a bad LSU team? How does that affect the team if they end their regular season with a loss to a bad
Here's
team?
what I think. I think they're going to win that LSU game. I think they're going to get their 10th win no matter what. So really, I'm arguing more for the 11th win. But if you were to lose that, look, if this team splits down the stretch, well, if they split down the stretch, I'm going to have it. But if they lose these next two, they don't have a case to go to the tournament. At that point, it would be losing 8 of 10 games, right? Like, you don't go to the tournament when you lose 8 of 10 games. You just don't. So win tonight, and then we can kind of reprioritize what we think about the LSU game. We can kind of like see, because now you're playing for your 11th win. And I do think 11, if you beat Kentucky, you're playing for that 11th win. And we're over here arguing, this is what they're probably doing in the committee, right? There is going to be, like, we represent a committee right now. Nick, yourself, and me, like, there are going to be guys in there like, yeah, but they lost to LSU that last game, and they lost. But if you beat Kentucky, and that becomes, because that would be your marquee win of the year, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Kentucky, Georgia, and Texas, having those 3 wins.
Those are your biggest.
I think you're in. I do. Like, I just, there's the non-conference. And I think the Florida State game, as we talked about, looks a lot better. I think you are in that situation. So to me, this is the most important game of the season. This Kentucky game is your playoff game. It is your in or out game for me.
And protecting home court, I think, is also like very important. So I give you that too. Like making the fans happy in the last home game of the season could be a big statement.
Yeah, look, it's just take it out of the committee's hands and win the next couple games. Win a couple games in Nashville, and now you feel really good that you are at the very least a 9 seed, right? I don't want A&M to go to the Dayton. Like, that doesn't sound like, that just sounds like an extra game. And I think they would win whoever they play. I do. Well, let me rephrase that. I haven't seen this team play their brand of basketball in a while. Put up their schedule. I'm trying to think the last time I saw them play their complete brand of basketball, because Oklahoma and Ole Miss were good wins, but I still wasn't.
Georgia. It has to be Georgia.
Maybe the first half of the Missouri game.
I would say
the first half of the Missouri game.
Yeah.
Right? Alabama's the last time where we saw this team play their complete brand of basketball and they just ended up losing. Oklahoma, they scored 75 points on the road against a team that scores a lot too, and you held them. It was a good win. You had to get that win. You had to be in this position. Ole Miss, you had to get that win. It was a little tight at the end, but you had to get it. We haven't seen this team play their brand of basketball, I think, since the first half of the Ole Miss game. And even in that game, hitting all those threes, you couldn't stop the length that Ole Miss had and their guard that would just ate you alive. So anyway, that's how I see the situation. You've got to beat Kentucky. We'll worry about LSU at that point. And I think if you beat Kentucky, you're going to LSU and you're winning. And if you lose to Kentucky, you're going to LSU saying, we got to win here and we got to win there. We got to win at Nashville a lot. All right. We'll hit a break. When we come back here on TexAgs Live, we're going to talk. Who's the hottest team on campus right now?
Women's basketball.
There's a lot of teams that are doing great, right?
Yeah.
Track had a nice run at the indoor championships, SEC championships. Right now, women's basketball, Joni Taylor keeping receipts. We're going to talk with her about this turnaround and how much fun it's been the last couple weeks and what they still have ahead. Right now, we're talking about our good friends at Guarantee Bank and Trust. Brandon Sears, Jared Salvato became friends of theirs. I guess it was around Christmas time. Great guys. Brandon is an Aggie market president. He runs this area, but they've got over a century of experience serving Texans, and they're one of the most respected community banks. Why does it matter to be a community bank? Because when you go in there, you're in the community. They know you. They are a part of your community. You are a part of their community. They've been serving Aggieland as your community bank with 3 great locations in Bryan College Station. And they're all over Texas as well. 33 great locations across Texas. You have them in East Texas. You have them in Dallas, Fort Worth. You got them in Houston, Central Texas, and as I mentioned, right here in the BCS. So whether you're in Texas, Guarantee Bank and Trust is going to make local decisions to help you out through the process, and they want to support financial education, home ownership, local business, and nonprofit efforts. Every decision is shaped by helping their community grow. Check them out. They're known for that exceptional relationship-based banking, and they want to focus on you and your family. Check them out. They are Aggieland's community bank. It is gnty.com, the website, gnty.com. Guarantee Bank and Trust, a division of Glacier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. As I mentioned in the last segment, the hottest team on campus is the A&M women's basketball team, playing its basketball at the best possible time at the end of the regular season. And it's been a fun turnaround to watch. Let's go to the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. Head coach Joni Taylor here to talk all about it. Joni, good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. So let's just kind of talk about the process, because I remember 6-7 weeks ago, whenever it was, 5 weeks ago, you didn't panic. I mean, you didn't like where the team was, but you didn't panic. You trusted the process, and here are the results. So just kind of take me through the last few weeks and why so many good things have been happening.
Well, I think you summed it up. The journey is what we talk about. And if we handle the process right, when we look up, we're going to be where we want to be. And so every team has the same goal. They want to win games. They want to compete for championships. And so for us, after we work backwards from there, then our eyes have to be on like what's in front of us every day and not on that thing hanging out like that carrot, that little nugget that so many people focus on. And so we just continue to talk, as you said, during those hard weeks about having fresh eyes, showing up every day, staying together, getting better, and then things will turn around at the right time. Not to mention our schedule we had in January was just absolutely brutal. That is this league. Everybody has to play that schedule at some point. Ours just came back to back to back to back in terms of 5 of our first 7 games were against top 5 teams in the country in our league. We grew through that. We learned through that. We got better through that. And now we are playing very well. Our pieces are coming together very well. We have a confidence that we didn't have in January. We have a learning curve under our belt that we didn't have in January. Remember, 12 of our players have never done this before in this league. And so you kind of have to get tried by fire. And we've done that. What I'm most proud of is just their resolve, their faith. This is a great testimony for us to have, not only now, but as young people for them when adversity hits again, because we all know adversity never stops. It just looks a little different. This is something they can always pull out and call on to say, hey, I have been through some really hard things. I have learned how to fight through hard. I have learned how to be where my feet are and trust the process and keep my circle tight with those who believe in us. And I had a desirable outcome. And so I think this is just great for them. I'm so proud of their resolve, their trust, their belief in us, their belief in each other.
How important is proof of concept, right? Because you preach these things, and maybe in the beginning they don't see the results, but they start seeing the results, and they're like, yeah, coach knows what she's talking about.
I think it's just belief. It's always, we told them in January, we predicted exactly what was going to happen this year. And that happens a lot. I mean, we're fortunate to have a lot of SEC experience on our coaching staff. As a player and coach, I've been in this league now for over 21 years. Alexis Hyder played in this league. Alex Vaughn coached in this league. Chelsea's been in this league for 11 years. Rob's been in this league for 15 years. Darius Taylor's been in this league for 11 years. There's a lot of SEC experience on this staff. And so we can forecast a little bit of things and make some predictions. And not that makes us prophets or smart people. It's experience. It's wisdom. This group believed in us, and they believed what we were telling them. And so they put their head down and they worked and they grinded it out.
Talking to Joni Taylor here on TexAgs Live. I think I know the answer to this, but do you allow yourself to think about the NCAA tournament? Do you feel like you have to politic for it at this point, or just head down and let's go?
I think it's both and. Both and, as in, yes, head down, let's continue to do what we've done. That's what our team is going to do. I do think now there is a responsibility that I have and that our sports information department has, and they've done an incredible job to make sure people understand we are an NCAA tournament team. There's a lot of questions about our non-conference. We had some teams that dropped us. We can't control teams that, drop our contract. And the teams that did that, things happen, but at the same time, those were quad 4 opponents. And quad 4 means that's a team that if I show up and they show up and we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to beat by 20, we're going to beat by 30. So you're going to hold 3 games against us that are not going to even come into play in the decision room when the committee meets. How about look at the schedule we did play? We beat Colorado on the neutral court. We beat Kansas State at their home court. We protected our home court against Georgia Tech. We dropped a game against West Virginia at home, but West Virginia is a really good team. So we controlled what we could in terms of our non-conference schedule. So are we really going to let 3 games that have no bearing on who we are as a team as it relates to what the outcome of that game would have been keep us from getting into the NCAA tournament. I think our resume speaks for itself. They take into consideration how you're playing as of late. Well, we check that box. They take into consideration strength of schedule. Well, our strength of schedule is number 4 in the country. There's a new metric out this year called the WAB, which is wins above the bubble. And so if you are a bubble team, they take like the wins other bubbles teams have against your schedule and who you've played, and we're +2 in that category. So anybody who is on the bubble with us, we have done a better job than anyone that's above the bubble in terms of taking care of our schedule. And so what else do we need to do? So I do think I have a responsibility to do that. Our players' job is to continue to do what they've been doing, which is put their head down and work.
Going into this SEC tournament, you've got to feel really good. Just talk about where the team is mentally and physically heading into this tournament.
I think we're in a great space mentally and physically. We have belief in each other. Our pieces are playing really well around 9 fast. Our group of wings that we talked about earlier, in the month and in January, the 4 of them, as in Lamaya Hilton, Janae Kent, Jordan Webster, Celeste Blow, the 4 of them as a collective unit are playing outstanding. Emerald Parker is continuing to play well behind Lauren, and so is Anita Franz-Keeney. Cheney obviously comes in and has fire in her bones every single time she steps on the floor to give Nia a breather. And so all those pieces are super important. Look at our collective pieces against everyone else's. I like where we are, peaking at the right time. Physically, we feel really good. We've got to win 5 games in a row. That's not going to be easy. But nothing has been easy for us this year. So I do believe our schedule was perfect for us because it has prepared us for what we have to do. With all that being said, it's incredibly hard to beat teams twice. We play an Auburn team that we just played recently. And that's our focus. Our focus is to make sure that we are locked into them and do a great job with that first game.
Joni, do you look at the turnaround as that Alabama game, which was an incredible win almost a month ago, or do you look at it maybe from the Auburn game on?
No. Actually, the Missouri game. Lost at Missouri is where, from the end of the last 5 minutes in the Missouri game is when it shifted. And then we go on, we lose that game, and then we go to Oklahoma and we lose, and then we come home and we play South Carolina and we lose. So there's 3 losses after I walked into the locker room and said, hey, we're moving in the right direction. The shift is there. You could just tell the pieces were starting to come together after Missouri. And so since then, we have been on the right trajectory.
Joni, I always appreciate you coming on the show. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for the team. We can't wait to see what you guys do there in the SEC tournament.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Joni Taylor there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. They've been playing great. They deserve it. I love her. She's a friend, but she's also somebody that has stayed true to her process. And as Nick knows now, staying with me for a week, I'm a very process-driven person in everything I do. And I think, she said it on this show when everybody was doubting them. And I know there's still some people that are doubting, look, enjoy this journey because it would have been very easy to have given up on the season. When they were losing those games, and the South Carolina game, I remember thinking, man, they were in it for a little while, right? Like thinking to myself, it would have been very easy just to, that's it, I'm quitting, I'm not playing, whatever. And I don't think it's easy because I think most competitors aren't wired that way. But in today's world, people are thinking about the portal, already thinking about they stayed true to her and their game plan, and they should be commended for that. All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back on TexAgs Live, we're talking to Toney Hurd Jr. He just took a job at Legacy, and we're going to chit-chat a little bit about why he took the job, what's next for him, the Aggie connections, and all that good stuff. That's on the other side here on TexAgs Live. All right, if you are in the area and you're thinking about a new car, Caldwell Country Chevrolet. If you're not in the area and you're thinking about a new car, maybe think about Caldwell Country Chevrolet. You can start that search online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, you owe it to yourself to check out the selection that they have there. They're stocked up and ready to deal with everything on their floor. They're locally owned. Their Aggie alumni team will take care of all their customers. And remember, when you buy a vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet, it comes with that complimentary free oil change for life as long as you own that vehicle. That's real value that keeps paying you back year after year. Stop settling for those big city prices. Go to a place that's going to make you feel wanted and also make sure that you get a great deal. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan, to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. All right, from pick sixes, excuse me, in the Cotton Bowl to 18-wheelers on the highway to now coaching young men. Toney Hurd Jr. has never taken the easy way. He always takes, let's say, an interesting route to getting to where he wants to go. Let's go straight to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're joined by Toney Hurd Jr. here on the program. What's up, man?
How you doing today? How's everything going?
Good, man. I'm glad we got to chat a little bit on the phone yesterday. Happy to have you here. So let's talk a little bit about it. You're now the head coach at Legacy School for Sports Sciences. How did that all come together?
So long story short, man, God is a good God. Last year, I was with Second Baptist as the defensive back coach. This offseason, I was offered an opportunity to come be the defensive coordinator here at Legacy. And the head coach got an opportunity to go to college at Texas Tech and do some special things with them. So the opportunity for me to be a head coach opened up, and now I'm sitting in the seat, man, getting my schedule together for the fall.
So hold on, I want to go back because I think I remember, like I've only been doing this show for 5 years. You were doing the 18-wheeler thing not that long ago, right? It's been a couple of years. How long have you been coaching?
Yes, sir. So I've been coaching now. This is my second year.
Holy smokes! That's fast, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What I will say, man, is God don't make mistakes. You know what I mean? I had this big plan of me going to coaching college as a defensive back coach. And, God gave me a crystal clear path of where he wants me right now. And I'm enjoying every moment of this, developing these young men, giving them the great example, and just leading to the best of my abilities.
So when the coach left for Texas Tech, did you think, dude, I'm a candidate, let's go? Or were you surprised that you were a candidate?
Honestly, man, since I've been coaching football, I hadn't filled out a job application. So everywhere that I've landed, it's been by the grace of God. So I'm always prepared for a challenge. What I will say is that having that 18-wheeler company really prepared me to be a leader of an organization. I had multiple trucks running. I had about 7 trucks running. I had 7 guys driving the trucks, and I had to manage them and manage the company every single day. So I learned so many different aspects of being a leader in that role.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to follow up with it. So, like, I run a department a certain way. I have, like, this template, how I do things. And, wherever I go, I kind of bring it with me. Is that how you kind of look at it? Like, I've already organized 7 different teams doing X, Y, and Z. Now I'm going to be organizing the, defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, and 105 young men. Do you kind of use the same kind of platform, the same kind of strategies?
Well, the way I see it is overall, the head coach has to be a great leader of men. They have to be able to communicate effectively. They have to be on time. They have to be lead by example. All those characteristics I've learned since I was a captain at Texas A&M. So basically how I look at it is if I take a little bit from all of my ventures and take the negative and the positive so I can build on it and grow from it and continue to just repair my connection with God, I think that the sky's the limit, man. I look forward to this challenge just like I've looked forward to every other challenge that I've had before me. The good thing about this, I've been around football teams my whole life. So I think this is more like purpose. This is more like living in God's plan for me and not trying to live out my plan for my life the way that I envisioned it and just allowing God to order my steps.
Toney, so when I talked to you about a month ago when you had first gotten the job, you had a lot on your plate. I'm sure you still have a lot on your plate. What was your first order of business? Kind of just getting your staff in place?
So my first order of business, honestly, was to understand who I had here as football players. Better understand not only the type of football player that I had, but the type of kid that I was getting, what type of family structure did he come from. Just better understand how can I emotionally and physically be here present for these young men before I even dive into football at all. That was my first order of business, is better understanding who's here on campus before I have to go out and get other kids, add other kids on, recruit other kids, things of that sort.
So explain the process to me and how Legacy works. By the way, there's a deep Aggie connection. We'll get into that here in a second. But how do you find your athletes?
So honestly, right now, they've given me the keys to the fortress, and they've kind of asked me to create my processes. I'm a big big component of processes. So right now I'm working on my structure and my processes to make sure when I put my coaches in place, I have clarity. I have clear processes in order, and me and my coaching staff can continue to repair the processes to make sure that we're leading these young men down the right path.
Let's kind of go into the ties with Texas A&M, because I know the Brown family. They're the founders. How did this kind of come to fruition? And also, by the way, you reminded me yesterday, we were talking about it, Mike Brown's on campus, who started at Legacy. Obviously, we know his parents.
Yes. So to start with Mike Brown, he's a phenomenal young man. He actually graduated from Legacy with 72 hours. So he graduated from high school with 25 plus college credits.
Wait a second. He can get his Aggie ring like in November. Like that's what it sounds like, right?
Yes, sir. So that's one of the specialties from coming to Legacy. We're able to help these kids accelerate their academic side. So when they get to college, they're not struggling or behind. They're actually ahead, and they're able to focus on football more, and they can slow the rigorous part down when they first get there so they can really devote some time to football.
Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Reggie and Mrs. Brown. Dr. Brown, is it?
Yes.
It's Dr. Brown, right?
Yes, Dr. Brown, yes. So last year when I was coaching at Second Baptist, we actually played against Legacy, and that was my initial first involvement with meeting Dr. Kerry Patterson Brown and Mr. Reggie Brown. And I met them on the sideline. I learned how they came from the same background I came, as far as being Texas A&M Aggies, and that makes us family. Once I found out they were Aggies, it really made the situation really easy to introduce myself. We took the situation from there and just built our own rapport and our own relationship. We didn't have a goal in mind. Once you graduate from A&M, you're practically family, and we took that and just developed a regular relationship as far as clear communication, being honest with one another, and just getting to know each other. I never had any intentions on leaving Second Baptist, but then once the opportunity opened up for me to grow in my coaching career, I quickly reached out to Legacy, and we started to develop a relationship. And we had a lot of similar ideas as far as growth, as far as growing programs. And when the opportunity for me to be a head coach came upon, I just knew that it was God's plan. For me to be with people that I can trust, and they're asking me to lead their organization of 6th graders to 12th graders, I just think that it's a big blessing, man, and it's something that definitely God had to arrange for me.
Toney, what do you think is success like a year from now? If you were to look at yourself and say, do you have certain benchmarks you're trying to hit? Is it more about the relationships and the football will take care of itself? What do you consider success in year one?
I think year one success looks like, do we continue to get guys to college? Are we continuing to put kids in college with college credits? Are we continuing to develop these young men? Are they opening doors for these young women? As I'm walking to class, do I see that? Do the young ladies on campus feel safe around this football team? Are we developing the mind as well as the athletic ability? I think success, to me, is defined by all of those things.
I think that's amazing, and I think your players are going to be very fortunate to have you as a leader in their lives. Let's talk for a moment. I don't know how much you were able to pay attention to Aggie football this past season. Were you able to watch some of the games? What did you think? Because I know you were busy coaching yourself. What did you think about the 2025 A&M football team?
So I think that last year's football team was very resilient. I think that they had some phenomenal moments. I think that we could have finished better in the playoffs, but in the regular season, man, that was probably one of the most remarkable offensive and defensive schemes that we've seen in a long time. From a coaching standpoint, it's some very high-level coaching going on, both sides of the ball. Special teams was fanatical effort. KC Concepcion is a talent that once-in-a-lifetime talent. I feel like offensively, what we put together as far as week after week, being able to have explosive plays, I think that that's going to be phenomenal for recruiting, getting some very explosive playmakers to come in and follow up with what they did. And defensively, I just feel like, man, we had a great front seven and a great back end. Very devoted to putting the work in, the coaching staff and the players. I don't have a lot of negative things to say about last year, man. I just wish that we could have finished better.
Well, rumor has it you might be in town at some point, and maybe you'll visit studio, right?
That sounds like a plan, man. I'd love to stop by, man, and be a part of that. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll get you in here soon, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for making a few minutes for us, and congratulations on all your success. And like I said earlier, man, I think your athletes are really they're going to benefit so much from having you as their leader.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nunez, and I look forward to speaking to you soon, man. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, Toney. Toney Hurd Jr.
All
there
right.
on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. All right, we'll hit a break. That was fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does and watching. I didn't realize it had only been, 2 years of coaching? Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember talking to him on this show about truck driving, right? And his whole, so when I saw that he got the head coaching job, I was like, man, have I been here for 10 years? I feel like I've only been here for 5 years. But dude is, he's cooking. Congratulations. We'll hit a break. We'll come back and we'll do a little on TexAgs today. Right now, when it comes, actually, I think Toney would be perfect for this. A heritage film on Toney Hurd Jr.'s life.
That would be cool.
So a heritage film is a documentary, right? It's this 2-hour documentary that Chance McClain and his team does, and he can do it for a family business. He can do it for a family ranch. He can do it for your grandfather. He can do it for Reggie Brown, right? And Dr. Brown, there's so many different ways you can tell your family story. And if they were to do Toney's, story, it would start from the beginning, high school football to A&M, to life after, to running a trucking company, to now impacting young men's lives, to hopefully winning a state championship, to later maybe being a college football head coach and winning a national championship. All these cool stories. Well, Chance McClain can tell that story in a 2-hour documentary, and you can do it in parts. You could do it now, what you've done, and then add on to that story later. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com. Call up Chance, 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341. It's Heritage Films. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks is good to be right. And we're back. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12-979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. I'm really interested in knowing what's on TexAgs today.
Well, when you speak of piping hot goodness, I have to talk about what's on TexAgs today. And this is just a reminder for everyone to become a TexAgs premium subscriber because there's so much rolling out. Obviously, today with men's basketball hosting Kentucky, there's 3 pieces of content out. You got Olin's preview. We talked a little bit about it in the Go Hour. You got Keys to the Game by Luke Evangelist. You got the scouting report by Tom Schuberth. And then also you got baseball tonight again, or at 4 p.m. against Incarnate Word. So there'll be coverage with that. You got Bronny's baseball thoughts over the weekend. You got Cade's Ball 5. We got recruiting long form with a couple of big-time recruits. We got pressers from Joni Taylor. You got Bucky yesterday. You got softball press conference as well. And then cap it off, we got some NIL interviews with Eliza Sharp, which is the new volleyball transfer to the championship team. And freshman Helaman Kasuga is in interview as well.
All right, good stuff. Appreciate you very much. So let's kind of talk about some of these texts that have come in.
Oh, yeah.
PG Ag and King Oaks had one. You want to read that one? I think it's an interesting point.
PG
Ag and King Oaks says, I think you get in with 10 because Alabama will not be looked at as a loss. But it won't be looked at as a win either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be a slight on their resume.
It won't. Yeah, I don't think it'll ding them, but it doesn't help them.
No.
Right. So, again, I still think they got to get the 10 wins, the very minimum, and I think that 10th win has to be Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think winning in the tournament, getting your 10th win, will get you over the top. I am one of those, and I think I might be in the minority here. I don't think the tournament helps you that much unless you win the tournament. I've just seen too many A&M teams go all the way to the championship round and not, getting the bang for their buck. I feel like they make up their minds, then they allow you to kind of move up or down a slot based on if you do really, really well. But I don't think it moves the needle the way people think it does. Only when you're being compared to another team.
Yeah.
There's another one in there from a 214.
214 tourney discussion. Keep in mind the selection committee also looks at the SEC tourney. It's all important in the process.
I don't know if they do.
I mean, they do, but I agree.
Don't.
History, they do, but they don't, because history has told A&M fans and the A&M basketball team in particular that the success in the tournament sometimes does not give you the A-OK that you are in. We've seen it a couple times for sure. So I agree with you. You want tonight's game, and tonight's game it's a big test. I was kind of diving into it, and honestly, further discussion with David from the last hour. I agree.
You changed your mind.
I did,
Yeah.
and I accept that. Like, Kentucky is a big win tonight, but it's a big test because if you look at it, A&M struggled against guards against Texas this past weekend. Tremont Mark had 23, Pope had 17, Swain had 11. 59 of their 76 points were from guards, and now you go into a game where they got Otega Owe, Denzel Aberdeen, and Colin Chandler. Their 3 leading scorers are all guards.
Yeah.
So we're going to need some big step up. I know we've seen Marcus Hill do it, but especially on the defensive side, we're going to need like a full collection of things from the guards.
Yeah, your defense has got to be on point. Now, you got to think to yourself, 76 points is what you gave up to Texas, am I right? 76, 71, right? 76, this team should score more than 76 points the way they're designed, right? They should be in the mid-80s, in my opinion. But I agree, like, especially when you're not hitting the 3 ball like you were, your defense is important. So, look, just do it on both ends. Hit your shots, limit their shots. It's a pretty simple concept. And I think Kentucky's good, man. I know they're not, as OB talked about, the vintage Kentucky, but I think they're good. We'll hit a break. When we come back here on TexAgs Live, we'll ask Justin Lanham what he thinks. What's the more important win? They're all important. It's TexAgs Live. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering Bartending Hotline. Talk to our buddy Justin Lanham, A&M basketball analyst, TexAgs contributor. What's up, Justin? How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, David. How are you, my man?
I'm trying to figure out A&M's basketball problems. What's the big issue, Justin, in your eyes? Like, why have tell me if I'm right here. A&M has not played their best brand of basketball since the Alabama loss. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Why?
Yeah, I think just as much as A&M's probably figured teams out, on getting scouts on them, and you're getting deeper into SEC play, so you're able to kind of figure out what these teams are doing. I think teams have really figured out that, hey, you gotta guard the 3-point line against A&M, and you gotta make them be drivers. You gotta make them try to get to the basket. And look, A&M's not gonna out-athlete a bunch of teams. I think we can all agree that you're gonna see, the Floridas, the Arkansas, even this next match against Kentucky, Texas. They've just got a little bit longer guards. They've got a little bit more of an athlete on their team. And so it's been really hard for A&M to put pressure on the basket, to get to the basket. Buck even mentioned is struggling finishing at the basket. And so, again, A&M has not shot the ball well from outside as of late. But they're also, the capability is it's hard for A&M to get to the basket and finish. And so when you don't have that, you're not shooting from outside, and then teams are wanting you to drive the ball, it just puts a strain on your offense. And I just feel like that's kind of been the blueprint for teams. Hey, don't let them get hot from outside and make it hard for them to get good, clean looks from the outside and make them go to the basket. And then whenever A&M's not finishing well at the basket, it just, like I said, puts a strain on your offense. We realize Marcus Hill recently has been the only guard that has really truly finished well at the rim and being physical like he can be. He finishes pretty well at the rim, but outside of that, the guard play has kind of diminished. Marcus and Aggie need some help. Ryland's got to step up. Pop has got to step up. You got to have some other guards that are going to contribute. And right now, they're just not getting that. And I think it's really putting a strain on this offense.
Talking to Justin Lanham here on TexAgs Live. Justin, I'm going to jump around a little bit on this topic or on this discussion, because I look at what's left on the schedule, these two games with LSU and Kentucky, and I think Kentucky's the must win. I feel like a win over Kentucky is significantly more important than a win over LSU if you get to 10 wins. Hopefully they get to 11 and beyond, right? They win a bunch of games in the tournament. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I think what the Kentucky win does for you versus what the LSU win, I like my chances, and follow me here. I like A&M's chances if they beat Kentucky and 10 wins is all they get. Let's say they were to lose LSU. I like their chances obviously better of getting in the dance versus if they were to win LSU and lose Kentucky. I think that's probably kind of what you're saying as well. Obviously, would be great to have both of them, but I think that Kentucky win is going to go a lot further than that LSU win.
Yeah, and I do think for them to beat Kentucky, though, they're going to have to play that brand of basketball we saw against Alabama. It's got to go back to that.
100%. And look, they have a really tough test against Kentucky. The one thing that I hope and I think that probably Bucky is saying in that locker room to these guys is, hey, you're playing the 2025, 2026 Kentucky team. You're not playing the past Kentucky teams. And I think sometimes teams can get caught up in that when you're playing Kentucky. You think that you're playing the tradition, and in a way you are, but this isn't at Rupp Arena. This is in College Station. This isn't at Rupp. This is not, you're not playing the teams of past. Like, you're playing this year's version of Kentucky. And let's be honest, like, sure, is Kentucky good? Absolutely. They have great players on their team. They have Owe, who SEC preseason player of the year. Like, they've got some studs on their team. There's no doubt about it. But let's not get caught up. That's the message that has to be portrayed and has to get across to these guys, is you're not playing the Kentucky of old. You are playing this year's 2025-2026 team.
Do you think kids actually think about that? Like, today's kids, like, Kentucky hasn't won a national championship in 13 years. Before that, I don't remember when the time was. Rick Pitino was coaching, right? Do you think that, like, that still carries that same kind of, like, for us it does, right? For people who are analysts and fans that watch the game, but do competitors actually think about that, you think?
I don't think so until you go on the road. I think just the mystique of Rupp, just Big Blue Nation, we hear about it all the time, how they travel, and then obviously how they support their team at home. I think that more so matters more than kids thinking about, oh my gosh, in 2020, in 2003, they were awesome. Like, I don't think anybody's thinking about that, and I'm just using a random year. I don't think anybody's thinking about that, but I think it's more of when you play at Rupp, that mystique. I think just how hard it is to go in there and win. So when you get them at home, I think that stuff is thrown out the window. Because again, you can go back, David. I think you can go back to like the A&M Texas rivalry. Kids that are playing now, like, they're not thinking about that because for the last however many years that hasn't been a thing, right? And so that's kind of the same mindset that I go into of, like, kids don't really think about that. Like, if you were to interview some of these kids about an A&M Texas rivalry, some of them wouldn't even really know what to talk about or even what to say. Like, they just don't think about that kind of stuff. So I think this is a new day and age, a different type of kid that is not thinking about that at all.
I was reading Tom Schubert's report on this game, his pregame report, and Kentucky is 13-1 this year when leading at halftime. To me, it's more about A&M playing with a lead than playing from behind, because I think all too often we've seen this team having to play catch-up the last couple of weeks.
Yep. Yeah, when A&M gets out fast and kind of jumps on teams from the beginning, I like their chances. It sets the tone for these guys. I've talked about, and I've thought over the last couple of weeks, that this pressure that A&M had instilled in the beginning of the season and beginning of SEC play has kind of dwindled a little bit. And I don't know if that's just the season. It's kind of towards the end of the season. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to say that they're getting tired. Obviously, we saw it in the Vandy game where they definitely had some dead legs and were tired. So I don't know if the pressure is kind of backed off a little bit. It feels at times it's like a token pressure rather than like a true pressure to really try to turn teams over. But I will say this too. Kentucky, when they take care of the ball, they're really hard to beat. When they don't take care of the ball, and they get into some turnovers and teams are able to get live ball turnovers on them, they are not very good. So A&M, that's the strength that A&M has to play towards, is learning and figuring out how can we turn these teams over, specifically Kentucky. How can we turn Kentucky over, get some easy buckets? Because look, you go back to the Texas game. I don't think A&M really has had chances at getting easy looks lately. It feels like everything they're having to work for. And so how do you negate that? You get live ball turnovers, you play fast, you get in transition, and you get easy buckets, and then you get a little bit of confidence. And I think that's what this team needs. And if you can do that against Kentucky, I like your chances.
Well, and Kentucky thrives in transition, right? So if you can take that part of their game and negate it somewhat, I think it opens up the opportunity for you to get some transitional buckets.
Absolutely, and the press is always tricky. Like I've heard coaches talk about it in two different ways. One way, you can press and you can stop their transition break, or you can come up too much in pressure and they can throw the ball over the top and get easy buckets in transition. So it's a fine line that you have to teeter on of, are you pressuring too much? Are you allowing the throw over? Are you allowing easy buckets on the other end? And I think we've seen that from A&M at times. The pressure works in their favor where they're turning teams over a lot and they're getting easy buckets. But then I've also seen it where teams get out in transition, throw it over the top, and they're playing advantage basketball. They're playing a 3-on-2. They're playing a 2-on-1, and you're just never going to win that. The odds are against you at that point. And so it's going to be, again, it's just a really fine line that this A&M defense and this pressure has to play against.
Justin, on the show earlier with OB, we brought up the point that there was a time in the season that A&M would wear teams down, that you'd go to the end of a game and they would have their hands on their hips and they were exhausted from having to play. We really haven't seen that. Is that because the press hasn't been as effective and they've had to kind of abandon it at times?
I think so. I kind of went back to, like, sometimes it feels like it's a token pressure versus like a true pressure, full press, get after you, nagging. That mother-in-law defense that Bucky talks about. I don't really feel like we've seen that. I feel like we, at times, it just feels like it's going through the motions. You know how it is. You get out there and you just feel like, oh, I'm playing defense, but you're not really. You're not really getting after teams. You're not getting up underneath their chin. You're not hand checking them. You're not making them feel you. I think at times that's what it feels like. Yeah, we're pressing, but we're not really pressing to turn somebody over. And so I think they've got to get back to that. They've got to get in the passing lanes. They've got to get deflections. All those little statistics that, we've talked about it on this show about the deflections, like little stuff like that leads to big things in the end. And so, again, is it the rotations? Is it guys being tired? I don't know the answer. I'm not in those practices every day. I don't know what they're looking like in practice, how fatigued they are. But I do know that they have got to figure out a way to make this team feel uncomfortable. A&M has, when you watch A&M's offense, sometimes they look uncomfortable. How can A&M replicate that on the other end and make other teams feel uncomfortable? Because when teams do, when you get a Josh Hubbard from Mississippi State saying, when are y'all going to stop doing this? Like, that's what they have to get back to. They've got to make teams feel uncomfortable.
How about getting a third person to step up? I think too often we've seen, Marcus Hill, you talked about him earlier, has played really well, but it's been like Rashawn Agee and somebody, and then nothing. I don't want to say nothing, but not as effective. So let's talk about having a third person, how important that is. A third person is giving you 12, 14 points.
Yeah, 100%. You're going to see Kentucky. To me, they've got three really good players, right? That can contribute. The Chandler kid obviously can fill it up. Owe, you're going to have another guy for Kentucky that's going to step up. A&M has to have that as well. Like, it can't be Agee and Clements. It can't be Agee and Marcus Hill. There's got to be somebody like, and I think all A&M fans and people watching the games are just waiting. They're just praying that Ruben shows up in a big way, or that Ryland shows up in a big way, paired with Agee and a Marcus Hill, or Agee and Clements. Heck, if we could get all five different guys to show up in a big way, that would be huge. I think Pop always shows up in like kind of little spurts. To me, he always scores like 6 points pretty quick, and then sometimes you don't hear from him. Same thing with Ryland. You get 4 points, 6 points here and there, and then you don't hear from him again. And, Agee and Marcus Hill as of late. Clements, I know he had the big game that he had. But if you've got to find that way to attack at different angles, because, look, at halftime, Kentucky's going to adjust. At halftime, they're going to make adjustments, just like A&M's going to make adjustments. But Kentucky's going to adjust. And so if Agee and Marcus Hill are going off in the first, they're going to adjust on those guys. And then guess what? You're going to have somebody else step up in a big way, because we've seen it. Marcus Hill and Agee, it's not going to be enough to get it done. You're going to have somebody step up in a big way.
OB thinks that, I think he said this during the show, but he thinks Pop will have a big presence tonight. They need somebody, right? And if it's Pop, can you put your finger on why maybe Ryland has struggled a little bit recently?
I think that Ryland's game, like I said, teams have kind of stepped out to the three-point line, and Ryland is a guy that wants to shoot the ball from the outside. Can he get to the basket? Sure. But I don't think he's as athletic as some of the guys that are guarding him, right? Like, he's athletic. I'm not saying that he's not athletic. He's an athletic guard. But sometimes the guys that are guarding him are just a little bit more athletic than him at his position. And so he wants to shoot the ball from outside. And I think teams have just really said, hey, we're going to make you drive to the basket. Like, I don't know how many times we've seen, Jakari Lane drive to the basket and he gets his shot blocked, and he's throwing up something crazy, and it just doesn't feel like that's our strength. Like, that's not how this team is going to score the basket. And so, but I'll give you this, David, it's twofold, because you have to have pressure on the basket to loosen up that pressure on the outside. And unfortunately, sometimes I just don't feel like the guards are there to go finish at the basket. And so teams are able to just sit on the 3-point line and say, hey, go to the basket. Florida's going to have a 7-footer hanging out around the basket that's going to block shots. Missouri, Arkansas, they're going to have these big guys at the rim to contest. And unfortunately, that's just why they haven't been able to open up the 3-point shot for a guy like Ryland.
Talking to Justin Lanham here on TexAgs Live. As for Ruben, does it feel like I don't know, to the way I see it, I feel like his timing is off, like his release, like there's something about he feels the pressure sometimes before it's actually there.
Yeah, it's like he wants to take a shot, but then he doesn't take it, and then the next one he forces because he knows that he didn't take the last shot, and I think it's kind of getting in his head a little bit, and then when he doesn't see that first one go down, then the second one he's putting a lot of pressure on himself to make it. You just got to find a way to get him good looks. And again, I think that can start in transition, getting a defensive stop, running the floor. You play advantage basketball and get him an open look early in the game. If he can get some easy early shots, you're going to see that ball start to go in. But if you can't get that in transition, if you can't play some type of advantage basketball, teams are good enough right now to say, we're not leaving Ruben. Even if he's struggling, you're still not going to give him an open look, because if he sees one go in, 2 and 3 are going to come right after that. And so to me, the key for them is just playing fast in transition. When we saw this team firing on all cylinders, sure, maybe it was in non-conference play whenever they were playing some lesser opponents, but when we saw them firing on all cylinders, they were playing fast. They were getting out in transition. They were getting easy buckets. And sometimes, again, I think sometimes when people hear easy buckets, they're thinking, oh, easy buckets at the rim. No, they can play fast in transition and get open looks on the 3-point line. And to me, that's the way you got to get Ruben. We've seen when they've run half-court offense, Ruben is just not open. He is, sure, there's times where he's coming off a ball screen and he's got half a second to get one off, but that's not the shot you want. I like it much better whenever he can hit standstill threes.
Justin, before I let you go, let's play out a couple scenarios and tell me what happens next. A&M wins against Kentucky, what happens next? A&M loses against Kentucky, what happens next?
Yeah, if A&M wins against Kentucky, I really do think that they're going to take care of LSU on the road. I really do believe that. If they beat Kentucky, I personally think that they're in. I think that they're in even no matter what happens against LSU. I do like their chances there just because we've seen some things from other teams on the bubble. Now, you go to conference tournament play, and we all know that there's people that might steal a bid here and there, but I still like their chances. If they lose against Kentucky, you got to beat LSU, and then I think you've still got to make somewhat of a run in the tournament. Unfortunately, I do. I think that there's going to have to be a couple of wins that come from the tournament, and you're just at that point just praying that the committee sees the value in what you did in the tournament, and then obviously what you did early on in conference play. The thing that really stinks, David, for this team is that February was not good to them, and then if they drop one or two, one of these and only win one in March before conference tournament play, I think that's unfortunately what's on the committee's mind, and I don't like that. They've got to change the perception that they hit a little bit of a lull and then they're playing strong starting March. I think the 2 wins right here in the beginning of March are going to be huge for them if they can get them.
If they win 3 straight and lose, I think they are going to be a top 10 seed.
I agree with that. I agree. If you take care of them, I don't know who they're going to match up against, but I think that's another key point to make, David, is who they match up with first in the conference tournament. If it's a Texas or somebody like that, and they can get another really quality win, then I think that that's going to go a really long way for the committee.
Great stuff, Justin. I appreciate you, buddy. Hopefully we talk to you next week, preparing for the the SEC tournament and an NCAA tournament. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, David.
All right, good stuff, as always, with Justin Lanham here on TexAgs Live. All right, we're talking about our good friends at Paragon Financial Advisors. If you are serious about getting organized and confident when it comes to your finances, you should right now take a look at Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no product sales, just thoughtful financial planning and investment management. And what sets them apart is the depth of their team. They have 8 CFP professionals. They have a CFA on staff. And credentials matter, and so does what they're doing, and they're doing it right for their clients. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Check out the website, paragon-adv.com, or call them up 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to tell you about Fratella Italian Cafe. If anyone knows anything about Italian food, it's me, Billy Lucci. And Fratella has the best Italian food in BCS. Located at 3901 South Texas Avenue, Fratella is known for their handmade pasta dishes and feature lasagna, beef cannelloni, chicken parmesan, chicken fettuccine alfredo, a couple of my favorites, just a big old bowl of plain old spaghetti and some manicotti. Really recommend the manicotti. That's my go-to. And don't walk out of there without trying the fresh, piping hot breadsticks and the homemade in-house cheesecake, which is incredible. It's great for dining in, catering, gift cards, and even shipping, which they do nationwide. Fratella's is Aggie-owned and operated, and it's an official restaurant partner of Texas A&M Athletics. I'll see you there.
Let's talk a little Troubadour Festival. Can't wait for it. End of March. Looking forward to it. Chase Colston joining us here to talk about it. He promotes the event. He brought the idea here a couple years back. He came on the show then. He's on the show now. Moving from Aggie Park to Bryan, man. You excited?
Yeah, man. We're excited for the move. We'll miss Aggie Park. It was beautiful. But, just having the space and being able to move it, earlier in the spring to March, not only with students in town, but hopefully a little relief from some of the weather that we've had the last couple of years in May has been kind of brutal, but we're stoked, man. We're excited.
Well, let's talk about it. What was your original vision? And you guys have eclipsed it, definitely, but what was the original vision for the Troubadour Festival?
Yeah, so I started, the first ever barbecue and country music festival in Texas a million years ago, like in 2014. Did that for a long time, and then, COVID came along which kind of changed things for a lot of us. But with Troubadour Festival, we're completely independent. I started with my best friend. We've known each other since we were 4 years old. He's a Texas A&M grad, and we just wanted to kind of build something together that was, the best in barbecue, the best in country music, kind of doing what I did before, but really elevating the experience and showcasing in different parts of Texas. And we've done it for the last 5 years now, and this is our fourth show in Bryan College Station, and we're proud of where we've gotten so far, and this year, I think we've put together probably, well, without a doubt for me, our best lineup yet, and we're excited to see what it brings in Bryan.
Well, yeah, let's talk about what is different this year, because you've added some elements before and after, right?
Yeah, so now it's kind of a whole weekend experience. The last few years, we've teamed up with Destination Bryan to do a pre-party at the Palace in downtown Bryan, which we're doing again this year. Like I said, totally free with American Aquarium and Shelby Stone, two great artists. And then, the festival's now in Bryan with a whole kind of new revamped barbecue concept with 30 restaurants. We'll have 5 different kind of themed barbecue tents that 6 restaurants in each will be cooking to different themes. And then, all that on Saturday with the show, live music on 2 stages. And then Sunday, we're doing our first ever barbecue brunch back at the Palace. On Sunday, Jason Boland is doing an acoustic set celebrating, kind of the best of 25 years of his music. And Bar A Barbecue in Montgomery, a Texas Monthly Top 50 restaurant, is doing a big barbecue brunch spread, mimosa bars, Bloody Mary bars, curing what ails you from Saturday night, probably. Just kind of giving a whole weekend in Bryan and having a whole, just really great experience across all days.
And Saturday, we got some headliners, so let's kind of go through who's performing.
Yeah, I mean, he needs no introduction around here. Robert Earl Keen has really, just showcased himself as a true legend in the scene. And, he opened Aggie Park a few years ago when it opened. It hasn't been back since. So we're really excited to get Robert on this show. And he's co-headlining with Flatland Cavalry, another band with big ties to Bryan College Station, legendary shows at Harry's. I was at their last one there. That was beyond packed. Just a great band that's just blowing up. They just got done in Australia with Lainey Wilson, and with them, Waylon Wyatt, who's a young one but really getting big on the scene now, has blown up the last year or so. Jason Boland and the Stragglers, another legend. Ty Delk, another newer one, but it should be real popular with the kids. And more artists on our side stage: Taylor Honeycutt, Cruz Brothers, and Juliana Rankin. Just top to bottom, it's a great lineup that I think is probably our best one yet down here, and we're excited.
So explain to somebody who hasn't been what it feels like to go. Like, I mean, you have the option of getting all the barbecue grub you want. You got the music. Kind of take me through what it feels like.
Yeah, it's all kind of in one place. I almost compare it to, or call it like 2 festivals at once. Essentially, you have a barbecue festival and a music festival kind of smashed together, and you can experience as much of it as you want to. So we sell tickets that are good for all the barbecue you want to sample from all 30 restaurants. It's all included in the ticket price. There's no added cost when you come in, and that includes all the music on both stages. If you want to come for just a show, if being a vegetarian is your thing, or just not super hungry that day, just come watch the show on the main stage. Ticket prices, for students start as low as $49 right now, and then go up to big VIP levels that we have that are all inclusive. But we've got something for all wants and budgets. But we always say, if you want to experience the best of both worlds, we've got our barbecue music tickets, which we think are a great deal to experience all you can and all the music, and then we've got VIP tickets and stuff like that.
How long does it take to plan this? Is this a whole year thing?
It's a year-round thing. We
Yeah.
start. We're actually kind of starting the process on dates and booking and stuff for next year. So
Okay.
we basically work a year in advance. But then now this year's be here before we know it, just a few weeks. So
You having fun doing it?
most days,
Yeah.
sometimes we wake up in the middle of the night sweating and crying and stuff like that. But generally, it's all right.
All right.
It's a good time.
So March 28th is the main event, but we've got it's bookend by an event on Friday and an event on Sunday.
Yeah, March 27th through 29th. That whole weekend will be all the barbecue music and fun stuff you can handle in Bryan.
What's the website to get the information?
It's real easy. TroubadourFestival.com.
Simple.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Chase, thank you very much. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll hit a break. When we come back, Dr. John Thornton talking a little Aggie basketball. Next on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
And we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Huge Aggie basketball game tonight against Kentucky. Dr. John Thornton, so nice to join us before he gets busy for that call. How are you, sir?
Doing well. It's springtime here, a lot to play for tonight, and basketball's getting real interesting.
So I've heard this said many times, and I've probably said it myself. I would have bought this situation before the season started. Having a chance to get into the tournament, having your 9 wins in SEC play with 2 to left, I would have bought it. Sure would have. The problem is I got used to the good times, and now we're here where you're in I think a must-win situation to make the tournament. Maybe not a complete must-win, but I think they got to treat it like that.
Yeah, no, I would think that's a good philosophy. As a coach or as a player, you don't want to look too far down the road about anything. You've had opportunities here in February to take that next step. They've taken huge steps over the course of the year in establishment of a program. But you've done that to put yourself in a position to have this opportunity. Yeah, go take care of business. And you've worked hard as a staff. You've worked hard as a team. Cash in on it now. Let's go play.
What do you think is at the core of their issues with not shooting as well, missing at the rim, not forcing as many turnovers as before? What do you think is at the core of the issue?
One of the things I would think is, first of all, the level of competition's ramped up now at this point because it's a do or die thing every night. I mean, Texas if they're going to have any shot at all, they got to come in here and beat us. And they did. And part of that, too, is, and Bucky's alluded to this, and players got to make plays. I mean, if you look at it, in the games that we won, or even in the games that we came close to winning on the road, Alabama, their big players made big plays. You look at Arkansas, got off to a decent start. A-Cup got crazy good in the second half. Big, great players make great plays late, and he took that game over. You look at Trevon Mark in this game. I mean, it's a 4-point ball game or a 2-possession game or whatever you look at it. Big players make plays. We've got guys. Rashawn is a guy that, he's a go-to guy, but people, he's not limited, but he's around the basket. He's got challenges there with 7-footer, 6'10s, and double teams.
Right.
So anyway, plays late in the game, you make them, you're going to win them. And, we haven't done that as of late in February.
Yeah, it's Aggie, Rashawn, you were talking about a moment ago. He has been so consistent. The problem to me is there hasn't been a consistent second guy. There's been several guys auditioning for a few weeks.
Right. But I will say that it takes a community with this team.
Yeah.
It doesn't take another guy. It takes
several guys.
Several guys, and that's what we were successful with. Bench scoring, and not necessarily going lights out and coming in and getting 25 or something, but coming and getting 10, coming in and getting 6, coming and hitting a critical basket at a key time, or a turnover, or a steal, or bringing your energy. It's got to be that for this team to be successful. We get flowing when we're substituting and people are contributing to it. We can't have 1 or 2 guys doing something. It's got to be that cohesive group. And again, when you're making shots, it makes it look better. When you make shots, your defense gets better because you're fired up, you're after it. And we haven't shot it well, and we haven't gotten that kind of influence from other people. When we're scoring 5 guys in double figures, and Rashawn's Rashawn, we're pretty good.
Right. Well, the last time I feel like A&M played their brand of basketball was the Alabama game, right? And I think momentum has a lot to do with it. At that point, you're taking on a team that I think was more talented than you, but you were playing hot, and you played that game like a team that should win. Since then, even in some of their wins, I don't know if they've played with that same swagger that we saw early on.
Yeah, and I think what Bucky talks about it is that fearlessness and the confidence that you play with. And I'm telling you, having been courtside and seen that happen in places like Georgia, where you get off to that crazy run, Georgia ends up beating Kentucky, right? So you saw, to your point, the Alabama game. That's not an easy place to go play. It is jam-packed, and they're ready for you. And when you are the synergy of that group, when they're ready and believing and get off to a start like that, it perpetuates itself for the successful things that they've got to do.
The story, this A&M basketball story, no matter what, I think it's going to be a good story. If they don't make the tournament, you still look at the progress. But if they make the tournament, right, what that can do for this program moving forward.
Yes. Well, first of all, it is remarkable. Like you started this segment off with that we're even talking about. We're picked to beat Kentucky here at home, and that might seal the deal to get in the NCAA tournament. So you take that in perspective, you go, wow, that's pretty special. We're frustrated because we had other opportunities that we could enhance this. But I think, obviously, if you can do what you do, Bucky's attracted a lot of attention. He has, because, one, he's a heck of a coach. His pedigree is really good. It's excitable. His confidence is really, it's impressive as far as getting people to believe, whether it's a community or their team or the staff or whatever. So, let them have a little lifeblood here at the end of this final stages of this play and kind of take it to another level. Yeah, I think it's just a huge, huge step forward if you can do that.
They got to get Ryland Griffin going, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I like the guys when, again, back to your point though, it's not like you're wishful thinking about making shots. We got guys who can make shots. They're no secret though either. We're playing people that defend really well, and it's one of those kind of things that you have to do. Your execution part is really important in the half court. But we all know that if it's a broken floor and it's a transition down the floor, you can spot up when people aren't getting back to where they need to get, or they get into some duress, and those guys can get a little bit of hot hand. If we can do that and get a little juice going as far as seeing it go through, and because they're capable. Yeah. But it has to be that offensive flow, which we have not seen, whether it's in transition or whether it's execution half court like we saw early in it.
You look at, even in the Buzz era, Boots came in, Dex came in. Like, you get these transfers that have really made an impact for this program. AG's going to be here for a year, and we're going to be talking about AG for years to come.
Right. The thing is that kind of like, you've seen it. I've seen a lot of basketball, but about a week and a half ago, we're talking about if he gets 2 more double-doubles, he's going to be the all-time double-double guy in the history of A&M basketball. There's some pretty good guys that went through here. And for a guy that does, I used to, for his skill set, that's phenomenal. That motor that he brings, that competitive edge that he carries as far as, I'm just going to make it happen. I mean, he gets close to rebound, he's coming down with it. And he can score against so many different types of defenses that people try to run at him. But to get 2 more double-doubles and have that record, he's so deserving to earn that.
A guy who plays with that same kind of motor is Marcus Hill, and he's really thriving here towards the end of the season.
He really does, and I think his skill set really suits the way Bucky wants to play. And that deal about, when you look at the stat sheet, you go points in the paint. You think about Rashawn, or you think about, Zach, the way he's playing now. But Marcus, because he can get to the rim, he's creative at the rim. His motor is consistently on, in 5th gear all the time. He's a tough matchup for people.
You think they're in the tournament if they beat Kentucky?
I do. I really do. I think, you think about it, it'd be 20 wins. You'll be 1 game above 500 no matter what happens. And it's a hodgepodge in the middle of this season race with everybody else. So, beating the Kentucky, that's a name. It's a home game. You beat them. I think you've done a whole lot for yourself.
Do you feel the same way if that 10th win is LSU?
I do think that we have, if you take our road wins, go look at those wins. Yeah. I mean, we're looking at the things that we gave up here at home, but look what we did early. We're leading the league halfway through. Yeah, I think if we get to, a 1 game up, I don't want that. I want to win our last 2. But I still think that we're in the mix if you win out.
And I think if they win these next 2, and I say if, but I think they can and should. I think they should win these next 2. If they do that, then I don't think we're sweating very much.
No, I don't. But if you win these 2, I think you're a lock. Yeah, I don't trust the NCAA as far as I can throw them. But at the same time, if you win these next 2, and you're finishing on a high, and then no matter what happens in the tournament, we've seen this. We've gone in there and played lights out in the tournament, and it made no difference. So just take care of business right now.
And what's the key for tonight? What do you think is the key to beating Kentucky?
I think it's, to your point is, I think that it's more about us.
Yeah.
Let's go be us. Now, do we have to have certain things go right? Yeah, there's a litany of things that we got to go on the list for this team to be successful. That we have to have contributors off the bench. We have to get into the type of game, get Kentucky to play the type of game we want to play. And that is with the full court pressure whether it's after making shots helps you get pressure.
Yeah.
So making shots, I think playing the way that we like to play is going to be just the most helpful thing to getting us playing like we played earlier in conference play.
Dr. John, I think Pop and Rylan are going to have bounce-back games today. And if that's the case, they're going to have a chance to win this game late, as long as everybody else is doing their part.
I agree with you, and I think those two guys, along with Zach doing what he's doing right now, Jakari is so critical for running the show. You know, we need to get smart, decisive thinking out of him. Obviously, Ruben was one of those guys. He's a lights-out guy. He's no secret, though. Everybody's going to, he's going to have somebody almost in his jersey with him wherever he goes because he's that good.
Yeah, but here's what I think about it. If Zach continues to put stuff on film, people have to think about him. And Agie's going to always command double teams. And so as long as you have guys hitting shots, that opens up Ruben.
It does. And then that's one thing about having Zach playing the way he's playing, where he's now a threat inside and also in the high-low situation or the cleared side, where it shrinks the defense and you have them spotted up on the perimeter out there. And then the other part of it, what made us so good early was getting to the rim and kicking. Not necessarily finish the rim. We want to finish at the rim.
Sure,
we do. But there's a lot of people at the rim. If you can break the defense down and then and they work on spacing. They've started in summer working on spacing and knowing where people are supposed to fill in their half-court offense. That's there.
Yeah.
We got to take advantage of that.
Dr. John, thank you for your time, sir.
Enjoyed it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll hit a break. We'll come back with one final segment. You are listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. All right, final segment of the program, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We go back to Justin at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Mr. Paez, got some messages from the people?
Yeah, of course. We got some David Edmond discussion here. He was commenting on you and OB's interview discussion with Charean, talking about Cassius Howell, and he stated that his takeaways from it said, so what I got from the segment was that Cassius is not going to be a first-round pick because of one bad game against Miami, even though he spent 2 seasons going against NFL talent week in and week out.
Okay, that's not what Charean said, Dave. Okay, what she said was the question for NFL scouts is going to be, do we take a chance on a guy? And I say take a chance because of his short arms when there hasn't been somebody in the NFL with short arms to merit a first-round pick. I don't think she phrased it exactly like that, but that's basically what she was getting at. She's saying that's the question that NFL teams are having. She also said it only takes one. So I agree with you, Dave, that you put on the film, you see a guy that wins. But these NFL scouts, while they've probably seen a lot more of Cassius Howell than we have from different angles, the All-12, all these different things, right? While all that may be true, they have their analytics, and I'm not saying the analytics are always right. They have their analytics, and they have to decide, are we going to invest a first-round pick on a guy when there are other dudes ahead of him? I think, Mesidor and Cassius are kind of looked in the same part, right? So if he's a second-round pick, if that hurts your feelings, sorry. But I looked at it as any time you are from 20 to 30, right, or 32, you are maybe a second-round pick anyway, right? So I would take, absolutely, I say take a chance. I believe in Cassius Howell. I also understand how these teams work, and they're going to go where the information takes them. His speed, the way he tested, I think that all looked really good. And some people aren't going to hold the Miami game and the Texas game against them. They are. It just it's recency bias. It's not a great thing. I kind of agree with Dave that I think it's ridiculous that people are using that as a thing. Who else said something about short arms? There was somebody else.
Ruben Bain has historically short arms.
Yeah.
And he's
considered a top 10.
Yeah.
And I think his arms are actually shorter than Cassius.
No,
right? Or is it maybe a little bit slightly bigger?
Larger, yeah.
Yeah. So, Dave, as I've done many times before, I agree, but I disagree. But I more agree than I disagree. But I still disagree because that's not, I think, what she said. I don't think you're presenting her case the same way. And now I know Dave will spend 18 minutes responding, and hopefully we'll turn off the stream so he writes all this and it goes away. And he's like, I wrote that for nothing. What else do you have for us, Justin?
I'll go to another quote from Calvin on the TexAgs chat. He said, from earlier discussions about Marcel, it said, clearly Marcel threw too many INTs over the 4-game stretch, especially in the end zone. Plus, he fumbled 2 to 3 times. Beginning in that South Carolina game, he struggled. Yes, he had a good second half against South Carolina, but he didn't play well at all versus Texas or Miami, just my opinion. So can't compare to the Notre Dame game. Marcel began forcing things as the year progressed. I like Marcel, still needs a lot of improvement in decision-making.
So this all started because of a list where the Texas State quarterback and Connor Wigman were ahead of, am I right? The Texas State guy was ahead of him?
Yeah, Brad Jackson.
Right? So this is where that came from. We can agree on several points that Marcel has to be better. I don't know how many times we've said that. Like, he's got to be better. But if the only metric that you're looking at when making a list are the last 2 games, I have 10 other games of evidence. And look, there were several times this year where he'd have a rough first half and finish very strong. Not just the South Carolina game. I'm trying to think, was it the Florida game or maybe the Auburn game where he was okay in the first half and then he turned it on in the second half. So I think we can all agree Marcel has to be better. No one has not said I'm not calling him a top 5 quarterback in the country. I don't know what he is. I think at his peak, he played like one up until the end of the year. And by the way, the end of the year is all a part of the way we kind of grade him. There's no doubt. But I don't think we throw everything away beforehand. Marcel put this team in the playoffs. He won a game on the road at Florida a couple years ago as his first-time starter, where we hadn't done that. He goes and beats LSU at Baton Rouge, where A&M hadn't historically done that in forever. He goes to Notre Dame and wins on the road, a place that A&M hadn't done since the 80s, right? So these are all part of the narrative. He also played poorly against Miami, and he also played poorly against Texas, and he also played poorly for a half against South Carolina along with everybody else. Everybody played poorly in that half against
Yeah,
South
it was
Carolina.
the whole team drops
Right?
and whatnot.
And then he played significantly better when they hurried it up. And they hurried it up. When they hurried it up. I can't say that. Hurried it up.
There you go.
There we go. I got to slow it
Say
down.
it 3 times.
No. You go. Go.
Hurried it up.
I got him.
Yeah.
Nick Savage with a smile on his face. That means I did something good. All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Live on a Tuesday. Tomorrow on the program, hopefully we're talking about an A&M victory.
Hope so.
All right, basketball victory. They've got to get this victory. We'll be hopefully talking about an A&M baseball victory. Is there anything else going on today that I need to be aware of? Is there anything? No, that's it, right? Those are the two things that we're going to be monitoring. And it's a Wednesday, which means Jason Howell, Kendall Rogers. Who else do we have on Wednesday? Tom Schuberth, Pablo Escobar. Anybody else? I think that's it. I don't have the rundown in front of me. All right, my thanks to everybody who came on the show. Dr. John Thornton came 2 times. He was busy, and he still came back. Love him. Chase Colston from the Troubadour Festival. Justin Lanham, our basketball analyst. Bronny, I saw your comment. Toney Hurd Jr., how about that in Legacy? Joni Taylor turning around the team. Even our segment on Miami, Ohio, because TexAgs fans wanted to hear about Miami, Ohio.
For sure.
All that and more. That's what I usually say to end a segment. We're not. We're ending the show. Louis up next.